Okay. So, as maybe a tradition that I'm not sure how long I'll keep, before I continue on with the new stuff, let's go back to the old and get some more bad endings. Going way back to 11 o'clock. Already done both of those. Haven't done all of these, but I'm not sure it'll matter. But before I continue with this, let's try to work out what bad endings I'm missing here. So, 17 is his first there. That's 12 o'clock, I'm pretty sure. So Osawa has 16 and 15. Minoriko has 13, so he's probably missing 14. Or Osawa's missing 14, but that seems less likely. Maria is missing 12. Looks like Kano doesn't have any more bad endings in this hour, so it's just 11. No, not 11. So Archie is good as well. So Maria's just missing one. Minoriko is probably missing one. And that's actually probably it. Hey, oh yeah. On my last stream, I did all the endings for 10 AM. So this is probably going to be nothing because, like, I don't think Archie has any bad endings left. Unless I've totally been zoned out when I was saying that. Hitomi! Archie grabbed Hitomi and ran. He charged the man in the doorway, kicking at the cane and he leaned on. The assassin lost his balance and stumped to the left. Run! Still holding Hitomi's hand, Archie rushed out of the club. The two sprinted away the side streets. Yeah, okay, that was quick. And it hasn't ruined anyone, so yep, that was a nothing ending. Let's try the easy thing. It would be to check if Minorikawa can do anything. Should you have the taxi wait here, or would it be better to call an ambulance? Sir, is there a problem? The driver asked. I feel like this has to be bad, or it'll be nothing, because he does need the taxi later. No, I'm fine. You're a leftover. How much do I owe you? Norikawa paid the fare and got out of the cab. Wait. I'm gonna swing by the train station, and if I don't get any passengers, I'll come by this way again, Kimizuka said. Oh, okay. The taxi pulled away. Maybe this will be nothing. Once inside, he wrote... Yep, okay. Nothing again. Let's try his next one. Ooh, this could be interesting. I was curious about this bit. He decided to cut the rise and fall of Shibuya's vigilante squad. Just tracking down the gang would take a ton of time, and if they refused to be interviewed, he was hosed. His goal was just to make sure that 4-star German gossip made it to the press at all. Like, there has to be something bad about this because, like... I mean, this is affecting way after this hour. Society of Surveillance. Where are they now? Sexy Squared. Those three pieces said individuals slated for interviews, but no appointments had been made with any of them. Unscheduled interviews were a dicey prospect. Wait, really? Okay, I mean... Let's try the other one. Nothing changes yet. Or maybe this will somehow affect, like, hours later. He decided to cut Shibuya now. He didn't have time to make up an article out of whole cloth. His goal was just to make sure that 4-star German gossip made it to the press at all. Alright, I mean, maybe we'll see what happens later. Now this one. It was a little early, but maybe he should just go to Center Guy and start gathering material about the diet drink to sales demo. Once the event started, things might be too busy for him to get any FaceTime. Alright, here we go. Maybe. If he got there ahead of time, he'd be able to ask more questions. Hey, Alex. Okay, I'm heading out. And don't think about doing anything stupid while I'm gone. Got it? Minorikawa tossed out the draft proposal into his bag and hurried out of publishing. So, this is what I've usually been streaming lately. It's it's a very strange visual novel. The title makes sense in context, kind of. Preparations for the Burning Hammer diet drink sales demo seemed to be well underway when he arrived at the Nakane building. Minorikawa could hear voices from somewhere out ahead as he made his way down the corridor. He knocked on the door and a tired-looking man poked his head out. Yes, can I help you? Hi, my name's Minorikawa. I'm a freelance writer. I'd like to do an interview about Burning Hammer. Huh? Oh, an interview! The man's face lit up with an enormous smile. You're the person in charge then, Minorikawa asked. That's me. Name's Junichi Yanagishita. Thanks for your interest in Burning Hammer. Drink all you want, then burn those pounds away. Instant sales speech, eh? Well, at least the guy was confident in his product. Is that totally true? Minorikawa asked. The more you drink, the more you lose. Absolutely. Have a try yourself and you'll see. Here, free sample. Uh-oh, here we go. Yanagishita produced a small bottle from his jacket pocket. It was filled with some kind of red liquid. So this is Burning Hammer, huh? Yes, and I don't mind telling you, it's a fantastic product. The proud smile of Yanagishita's face spread from ear to ear. Minorikawa opened the bottle. Oh hey, Yanagishita said quickly. Before you drink that... What? You're not on an empty stomach right now, are you? Minorikawa blinked. What? Well, it's just if you drink the product on an empty stomach, how do I put this? There is some minor health, I mean, it's just the body minor, it's just look, just say it's for the details, it's fine, Minorikawa said. I don't even eat breakfast this morning, but hey. Uh-oh. He tipped the tiny bottle back and drained it in a single go. It didn't taste bad, really. It didn't, in fact, it didn't taste like much of anything. It's like, this is our second Burning Hammer casualty, it seems. Not much flavour. Not much flavour, he said. Wait, he said. Well, yeah, it starts out that way in the beginning. Are you feeling alright? Alright, how? You just, you know, alright? Are you sure you're feeling fine? Look, what is it? Minorikawa asks. If you want to say something, just say it. Well, alright then. So it turns out if you drink it on an empty stomach, some nasty stuff could happen. Nasty stuff, meaning what exactly? Well, let's see. First, there's this tingling sensation on the tongue. Indeed, an uncomfortable tingling was starting to spread in Minorikawa's tongue. After that, your whole body starts to get hot, like whoosh. Minorikawa felt a flush across his skin. You'll start sweating all over. Sweat was practically streaming from his pores. A sort of steam will start coming out of your ears and nose. Water vapor began to gush from his ears and nostrils as if from a kettle that had reached boil. And finally... That was not what I was expecting, and I've had this happen before. Before Minorikawa could hear what the last thing was, his body launched into the air like a rocket. His head crashed into the ceiling and crumpled right back on the floor. It felt his heart might shoot out of his throat at any moment. Yeah, kinda goes like that, Yanagishita finished. He looked down at Minorikawa and with pity in his eyes. Kinda goes like that? What the hell are you thinking? Selling something like that? Well, it's just... This isn't a diet aid, it's a death trap! Minorikawa shuddered, his whole body racked with pain. Well, to be fair now, I did ask him if you were not your own empty stomach. Whoa, this is... Good hell, you psychopath! You can't be allowed to sell this poison, I'm taking you down! Clutching his pen as if it were his sword, Minorikawa lurched to his feet, his mind a little more than a blur. Die! He lunged for his foe. Yanagishita screamed. Well, I'm glad I got to see this. Over the course of the next 2 hours, Minorikawa chased the diet drink salesman around the building in a berserk haze. When someone finally alerted the police, it took 4 officers to subdue him, and when he finally came to his senses in his detention cell, the 4-cell General Gossip deadline had long since passed. He turned and faced the wall, muttering to himself. If only I'd eaten breakfast. I believe it was originally a Nintendo Wii game back around, like, 2008-ish? and it got ported to Steam like a few years ago. Oh, he's feeling the burn. Too real. Drinking Burning Hammer turned Minoru Kawa into a rampaging maniac who wound up getting himself arrested. So yeah, showing up at the sales demo ahead of schedule, bad call. Maybe when he had the time to kill, he should have visited Endo Electronics instead. Alright, so now... Wait. Apparently that's changed Tama's timeline. So let's see where this goes. Somehow, I managed to drag myself away from the shop. Just a few minutes later, I run into Mr. Yanagisha. Wait, so let me remind myself. 15, 16... Yeah, okay. So, Tama has the bad ending to go, and it is probably here. Okay, but do I have to watch this whole thing? I don't. Sweet. Okay. Anyway, real quick, could you put this on? Mr. Yanagisha briskly rummaged through his bindle, then thrust out a cat costume out towards me. What? Here? Yeah, before the sales event, you gotta hand out some samples. The job's already started, you know. And with that, Mr. Yanagisha went about getting me into the mascot suit. Looking back on it, it was a pretty ridiculous turn of events. Still, if I'm going to get my hands on that necklace, I have to take the chance that this job will pay out. Hey Effie and company, we are possibly getting the last bad ending of 11 AM. Just before you got here, I got the other one that I was missing, which is when Minoru Kawa decides to visit Yanagisha early and they get into quite a scuffle. There's a knock at the door. Huh? Who could that be? Mr. Yanagisha asked. In fact, you may see this scuffle right now. We got a customer already? He opens the door and heads outside. No way is that a customer, Shuri says. I mean, right? She guzzles from a 2-litre bottle of iced tea. That's my Discord notification, by the way. No one's gonna buy something as sketchy as this. I guess not. I agree. About the only thing I can really say about Burning Hammer is that it's spicy. Wait. What's weird about this? I don't understand. Anyway, I'm just going to continue. What thing? I don't know. About the only thing I can really say about the Burning Hammer is that it's spicy. Anyhow, Jerry says, want to get something to eat? Oh, I don't know. Nothing looks weird to me. But you just ate lunch. 2 lunches. I know, but this amazing Chinese buffet. Want to come along? Because I'm going to dominate. Huh? Someday, I plan to charm my way through every item on the menu. Before I respond, I could hear a sudden outburst in the hallway. What the hell are you thinking? Something like this? The voice sounds harsh and strained. It's quickly followed by another voice, Mr. Yanagisha sounding desperately apologetic. Well, to be fair now, I did ask if you or not you were on an empty stomach. He must have given someone some Burning Hammer. Well, I say. Shuri nods. Yeah, maybe. That's weird. Did we really get a customer this early? Yeah. Isn't the sales demo not until 1 o'clock? There are more sounds from the hallway. Shuri gets a weird look on her face. Whoa. What the heck? What's going on? Die! Suddenly, a man kicks down the door and bursts in, shrieking like a madman. His face is flushed, steam is erupting from every pore. Shuri and I can only stare, frozen with bewilderment, as he rampages around the room, smashing everything in sight. This was not described in Minoru Kawa's perspective. In a matter of moments, the venue was completely totaled, then the guy simply charges back out the door. No chance of holding a sales demo now. Why did this have to happen? Who was that guy? Why do you have to do this? There wasn't much Tama and Chiri could do to stop this strange intruder from destroying the sales event, but why did he show up in the first place, especially at this hour? The man in question has a clear choice to make at 11:30, and poor Tama's fate hinges on what he decides. Okay, so that's all the 11 AM bad endings. Which is handy. And now, it will go to 2 PM? No, 3 PM. And, we haven't started with Osawa, I believe. And his is pretty far in already, so I feel like his is most liable to be, broken up by someone else's. Which would be fun. So, I believe Osawa was recently tangled up in someone else's story. Let me just remind myself. Yeah, so Osawa was suspicious about Tanaka and he sent out Minori Kawa to find out if his wife had an affair with him. I've never truly trusted anyone, not on a fundamental level. Human beings are a type of organism that I can't get a true handle on through mere surface interactions. And the very fact that I've never trusted anyone else means that inevitably, no one else has ever trusted me. In the end, maybe the root of all my problems can be traced back to my heart. As he waited for Minori Kawa to contact him, Osawa thought about his current crisis. Assuming Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, then he must have accomplices. Hey Burn, Ham, you're actually not especially late because I've just been backtracking before you got here. I've only just now continued the story. Assuming Tanaka was behind the kidnapping, then he must have accomplices. And these criminals have mistakenly abducted Maria in their attempt to get the antiviral drug that was in Hitomi's blood. Maria and Hitomi were fraternal twins, but they looked similar enough to be mistaken for identical twins. Still, Tanaka would never confuse the two. The mix-up must have been made by some criminal who didn't know Maria or Hitomi personally. Insisting that Hitomi bring the ransom to the train station was obviously their solution. It had set her up for the second abduction. But piecing together this much of the kidnapper's plan only raised a different question. Why had Tanaka shown him those emails from Hitomi? Wouldn't the criminals want to keep information like that hidden? The more Osawa thought about things, the less they made sense. Just who are my true allies, and who are my foes? I'm really, it feels like there are two different criminal plots going on, or maybe one of them's not the criminal. Hey, yeah, that's a thing I did. I haven't played it in a while though. Sorry. Wait. Mr. Osawa, a delivery has arrived for you. It was Kajiwara at the study door. Come in. I was also saying yesterday, what will happen if Kajiwara and Yanagishita have a scene together? That'll just be horrible for everyone. Kajiwara stepped in to the room and handed Osawa a letter-sized envelope. Osawa checked the label. Coming. The official Aya Kamiki fan club membership application enclosed. Requires a 1,000 yen initiation fee and yearly dues of 3,000 yen. Membership grants several perks, including the opportunity to reserve concert tickets in advance to the general public. Osawa is fond of the members-only website content, which includes Aya Kamiki's blog and exclusive videos. I think I can. It's just that it would be quite two unpleasant extremes. Oh. I have heard that term so many times in the past few weeks. um, right. He had requested the application the day he'd gotten back from overseas. Would you mind opening that? Kajiura asked apologetically. What for? I'd just like to check the contents of any packages you received today, sir. It's possible the kidnapper may try to make contact by mail. I'm just waiting for this to actually be relevant. Osawa opened the envelope. Inside he found the expected application along with several postcards featuring pictures of the singer. Kajiura peered pointedly at the postcard images. You must really like her, the detective said. And just what sort of music do you listen to then? Osawa asked, staring at one of the postcards. It was a striking photo that showed off Kamiki's expressive eyes. Let me think. Mostly classical, I suppose? Osawa raised a quizzical eyebrow. You know, Kajiura continued, like Mozart and Chopin, and the like. I've probably butchered that. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, an Austrian-born music prodigy and classical composer. Famous works include The Marriage of Figaro, The Magic Flute, and Symphony No. 41, known as Jupiter's Symphony. Frederick Francois Chopin, composer and pianist of the early Romantic era, famed as a national musician of Poland, left behind numerous solo piano works. Famous works include his Nocturne Op. 9 No. 2 and his Piano Sonata No. 2. To be fair, I should be allowed to mispronounce all Polish names because Polish pronunciation is extremely confusing. He hummed a few bars. Can't say I've ever heard of them. Are you serious? Kajiura looked shocked. I'm familiar with the names, of course. I just never had much of an interest in music. Oh, that's such a shame! Would you care to listen to a piece now? Absolutely. Let's get some royalty-free bangers in here. I suppose I may as well. Now that he brought it up, Osawa was curious to know what sort of music Kajiura enjoyed. Detective pulled a digital music player out of his pocket. Here you go! Osawa slipped the attached earbuds into his ears. He's having a ball. He heard a flow of quiet strings that was soon joined by bold, dramatic horns. As the piece continued, it grew more profound and complex, and Osawa could feel his spirit calming. He took a deep breath, then expelled it through his nostrils. It felt as if the toxic gloom that had filled him was departing with the air. Before he knew it, nearly 10 minutes had passed. What do you think? It's quite nice. The theme of this piece is Kajiura paused for a moment and thought, well, about how erudition can be boorishness. Accumulated knowledge. The term often connotes an advanced and or esoteric understanding. Displaying a moderate amount can impress others, but pompously flaunting it is bound to put them off. Don't at me, game. What a description also. Thank you. If I hadn't met you, I'd never have discovered this piece. He spoke the words unthinkingly, and with unaccustomed frankness. Was this the power of music then? I'm very happy to hear that, sir. I'm straining to do this voice. Osawa gazed at one of the postcards as he let himself be drawn back into the music. Aya was scooping up handfuls of mystical blue sand. The grains dripped down from her fingertips. I feel like I could be in this photo here, Osawa muttered. I mean, it's not that it sounds terrible. I mean, it always does, but it means I'm physically straining my body to do it. like I've lived my life, letting so many things slip through my fingers. Kajiwara thought for a moment before responding. I think anyone who's worked hard to accomplish something and focused for a long time on that one thing is susceptible to those kind of feelings. Accomplishing something means getting results. That's not where my problem is. Apologies. Osawa removed the headphones and gave back the music player. You told me not to hide things from you, right? Kajiwara nodded silently. Then allow me to speak frankly. Leaning back heavily in his chair, Osawa took another deep, slow breath. How did that go, Xylex? Also, what level are you? I forget everyone's levels. Ooh, coming to the big 5-0. I'm anxious. So anxious that it's almost crushing me. Oh shit, I mean... Wait. I can't remember when Lyric got to Star, but that means he's overtaken me. I'm like 30k away from 3 Star. Oh, okay, never mind, he's quite a way ahead of me then. Given the circumstances, sir, that's completely No! Osawa spoke up before Kajiwara could finish. It's not that. It's not that at all. He shook his head vigorously. I had a dumb experience in doing my Invictus Daily today. Like, I saw there was another Sparkle player in the game, and I didn't want to target them, so I targeted the player next to them so that I could remember where they were on the board. But the player I targeted just would not go down, and they ended up making the top 10. It did end up coming to me and the Sparkle player, but it wasn't anyone I recognised. If the worst should happen to my daughter, how am I going to feel, I wonder? I'm not a man with a wide range of emotions. My heart is always cold somehow. And the truth is, I've wanted it to be that way. Which is why, if I do lose my daughter, my heart may remain unmoved. I may not even be able to feel a father's sorrow. That's what I'm anxious about. He felt his emotions twist inside him in a way that was utterly confusing. For perhaps the first time in his life, he realised how fickle a thing the human heart could be. It's alright, sir! Kajiwara flashed him a carefree smile. It just so happens that this is like one of the 2 extremely silly well, 2 of the 3 silly voices I do in this. Like, most of the others are pretty regular, but Kajiwara, I've just adapted this extremely condescending tone, and Osawa has a ridiculously deep voice that I've just decided on. What's alright? People who really have cold hearts don't worry about that sort of thing. The detective held out his music player again. Here, I'd like you to have this. Please give it another listen if you like. I think it may help calm your nerves. Osawa took the offered device. He had dared to open up to Kajiwara just a little, and to his own surprise, he felt grateful for it. And how about one of these as well? Here comes the bananas again. The detective produced a banana from his pocket. I'm fine, thanks. Are you sure? Alright, this is the give in to Kajiwara timeline. Oh, alright, I guess I'll take it. Osawa spoke irritably, then his expression softened a little. I'm surprised, like, am I going to get to the end of Osawa's time very quickly? It's already 12:45. You know, you've been getting on my nerves all day. Really? And here I thought I'd been doing what I could to soothe your spirits, Mr. Osawa. It's actually been a long time since I've yelled at anyone quite so much. Yeah, I enjoyed overdoing that one. As the words left his lips, Osawa found himself thinking back to one particular rainy day. I'm basically doing about 10k experience a day at most. which is fine by me. Like, I'm not rushing to get levels anymore. Maria had been in 5th grade at the time. Osawa was standing in his daughter's room. In his hands, he held the letter she'd left behind. He happened to glance out the window, and when he saw Maria walking along, soaked from head to toe, in an instant, Osawa was consumed with rage. Maria had left a note. It read, "Dad, you only pay attention to Tomi. You're too busy with work to play with me, so I'm running away from home." I should have read it in Tomi's voice, damn it. No, that's Maria. Maria wrote that. I can read the katakana at the bottom. Struck by an impulse he didn't quite understand, he ran from the room, heading for the front door. Maria had just gotten back inside. Osawa met her silently in the entryway. Wet strands of hair clung to the girl's forehead as she looked up at her father with a bitter glare. I'm not... No. It's kind of nice to see a name rendered in katakana. Like, you don't see that often. You don't care what happens to me, do you? Did he just slap Maria? He did. Impulsively, he slapped her face. Child protected emergency, please. She looks like Björk on the cover of Debut. Maria's cheek turned red and tears welled up in her eyes. Osawa's anger transformed abruptly into guilt. Whoa! He gazed down at the palm of his hand and saw a tiny spot of blood. He was shocked by the recognition of what he'd just done. And then, he was afraid. Afraid that his daughter could bring such raw emotion out of him and make him do something so thoughtless. And afraid that she would bring an army of her back to get revenge. Is something wrong, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara was leaning in, looking concerned. As concerned as he could possibly look. Osawa came back in the moment with a start and realised he'd buried his face in his hands. "No," he muttered, looking up. Neither was I. Just getting angry, yelling at people. I'm not good with that sort of thing. I don't like it. He picked up the music player and fidgeted with the earbuds as he spoke. Well, getting angry and yelling at people, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's just human. It's human? To do those kinds of things? I, Osawa's wife, often said that he was cold and mechanical. Her sarcasm only underlined a fact he'd always lived with, that he didn't know how to conduct himself like a human being. If you get angry, you show it, Kajiwara said. If you get sad, you show it. It's human nature to let other people know how we're feeling after all. Later, but thanks for coming by. Enjoy. Hope you sleep well. But what if doing that hurts the other person? That's when you apologize, sir. Oh, it occurred to Osawa he'd never tried to tell anyone how he felt before. He'd never felt the need to. And yet, right now, he suddenly felt that if his daughters were to appear before him, he might blurt out everything he'd ever left unsaid. I mean, you can not enjoy your sleep. Like, if you're like me and you have very mundane dreams at times. Or like mundane with a dash of, this is like upsetting things are happening at the same time. Oh yeah, and sleeping without interruption would be wonderful as well. Darling? I, Osawa's wife, opened the door and stepped into the room. The detectives are asking for you. It seems there's been a development. We'll be... Wait. I don't know. I mean, I'll just say Osawa's there. We'll be right there. That's kind of happening to me as well. They look like they're a very loving husband and wife, as always. Before the news was shared with the Osawas, the members of the investigation team quietly briefed Detective Kajiwara. Osawa and I, Osawa's wife, sat on the sofa in the far side of the room, watching. They could see Kajiwara go pale. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with a handkerchief several times. I feel like this is the result of bad decisions on other timelines coming up. Bad news, Osawa thought. Mr. Osawa! Ma'am? Would you prefer me to say, my wife? Kajiwara shuffled his way over to them at last. We've just gotten word from the headquarters. He hesitated ominously. Ominous. Osawa braced himself. Please, let's hear it. First, about your daughter Hitomi. Kajiwara's expression was grim. Yes, very grim. The body of a young man named Archie Endo was discovered near Shibuya Station. Hey, I know who Archie Endo is. What on earth is happening in this timeline? The name meant nothing to Osawa. In a building not too far from the scene, The detective swallowed. Your daughter Hitomi was found dead! This is not the right voice. I suspect this is the bad timeline. The world began to shake. Osawa staggered, reeling with sudden nauseating vertigo. So basically, Xylex, Archie is another character I'm controlling, and he has his own story that's going on alongside this, but I've decided to do Osawa's first. So the game is assuming all the worst choices for Archie and everyone else. So whatever happened in Archie's timeline has resulted in him getting killed, and it's messing up everyone else's timeline. Because Archie is, he's no one notable in particular, he's just a guy who likes cleaning up the streets, but he has been rescuing Hitomi, Osawa's daughter, from people trying to kidnap her, and so he's been getting involved with a lot of people with guns and stuff, and he's been causing traffic accidents and all manner of things. He's lived a very dangerous day, and apparently in this timeline he has died. Osawa staggered, reeling with sudden, nauseating vertigo. No, it's not possible. After that, your daughter Maria. The words blurred together. He could no longer comprehend what he was hearing. Everything was wobbling, shuddering, distorting. Hitomi was dead. Hitomi. At those words, Osawa's whole world went dark, as if someone had just yanked the curtains closed. But at least Maria's probably alive, right? Learning of Hitomi's death plunged Osawa into a pit of despair. This was the dark end of a chain of events that began with a simple, small decision. Someone else merely decided to abide by a little promise. Because of that, not only did Archie and Hitomi meet with disaster, but Osawa lost his mind as well. Keeping a promise is a noble thing, for sure, but right now, saving Archie, Hitomi, and Osawa is more important. I always have to drag myself really tired out of bed, but then within an hour I've forgotten about it and I'm fine. Alright. So we got really close to the end there. So what happens if I switch these around? And stop being nice to Kajiwara? No, thank you. Right now, Osawa preferred silence to unfamiliar music. I see! How about something like this, then? The detective pulled a digital music player out of his pocket. Here you go! Dubiously, Osawa slipped the attached earbuds into his ears. He played the brown note. It was revenge. He heard the gentle sounds of surf, and also a loud clock because he was listening to an audio tape of Umineko when they cry. The simple rhythm of waves crashing and receding drew him in. He listened with unexpected pleasure. Time went by comfortably, as if he were standing alone on some remote beach. He took a deep breath, then expelled it through his nostrils. He felt as if the toxic gloom that had filled him was departing with the air. Before he knew it, nearly 10 minutes had passed. What do you think? It's quite nice. I listen to this a lot when I can't sleep. When I can think about the implications of diving in too deep, and possibly the complications. Even Kajiwara's voice sounded somewhat soothing to Osawa now. Thank you, detective. I'd forgotten what it was like to feel this way. He spoke the words... He spoke words unthinkably, with unaccustomed frankness. I will never lose any opportunity to promote Overkill by Men at Work. I'm very happy to hear that, sir. Okay, is this just repeating it? It's still not. Osawa gazed at one of the postcards as he gave his body over to the sound of roaring sea. Aya was scooping up handfuls of mystical blue sand. The grains dripped down from her fingertips. I feel like I could be this photo here, Osawa muttered. Like I've lived my life, letting so many things slip through my fingers. I'm trying to skip, by the way. But there's still unique dialogue. Kajiwara thought for a moment. There we go. Here we go. This is just gonna be bad for the Kajiwara Osawa love plot. Like we're lowering all his flags. I'm sure. Osawa spoke firmly, then his expression softened a little. You know, you've been getting on my nerves all day. Really? And you thought I'd be doing what I could do to save your spirits, Mr. Osawa. It's actually been a real long time since I've yelled at anyone so much. As the words left his lips, Osawa found himself thinking back to one particular rainy day. Okay, so Osawa's is pretty relaxed. Because apparently it was relevant first, let's go to Archie's. So I believe Archie just met up with the Middle Eastern girl whose name I keep forgetting, and they're about to confer. Everyone should just cave into my schedule. Kanan led them into a narrow back alley. The moment she stopped, Hitomi spoke up. Members of SOS don't come by here very much. Word has it that in this place, around 10 years ago, one man beat the crap out of 7 street toughs in the blink of an eye all by himself. Over time, people have offered various theories, that he was an assassin, that he was some foreign soldier, even that he might have been a ghost, and to this day, the urban legend lives on. Why was my sister kidnapped? Before I can answer that, there's something I need to tell you, Kanan said. I forgot what voice I gave her. Her tone was cold and sharp. I have come to Japan because I'm on a mission. I'm not at liberty to discuss all the details. Alright. I've got a bit of a, like, scratch it in the back of my throat that's just blocking my Hitomi voice a little, but I'll try. Hitomi gave a slight nod. To answer your question, Maria was kidnapped by mistake. What? Hitomi gasped. But why? Because this kidnapper isn't after Maria, they're after you. Who's after me? The mastermind behind this whole thing, Kanan said. Her tone was matter of fact. Whoa, hold on, Archie interrupted. What do they want to tell me for? That I cannot say. Well then, who is this person? I can't tell you that either. You see, their sex, nationality, age, appearance, just about everything about them is shrouded in mystery. Unless of course it's Tanaka. So there's honestly not much I can tell you. Archie and Hitomi stood dumbfounded. What gives? Archie said. So you're saying all you know about this person is some lame name like Mastermind? What is this, a Danganronpa? Oh, you missed Minorikawa's expression, Effie. he drunk some burning hammer and things went wild. Hitomi turned to whisper in his ear. Mastermind isn't actually their name. Originally used solely to refer to someone of remarkable intellect, the term first took on its criminal connotations in the 19th century. I'm here, Kanan spat, because I'm looking for revenge. Revenge? Hitomi asked. What for? This person also killed my friend. Kanan's inscrutable eyes flashed with a threatening gleam. That's also interesting because it implies that there's been something going on before this whole drug conspiracy. Maybe. Earlier, you said it was your fault that your sister got kidnapped, Hitomi said. Kanan cast her eyes down. 4 days ago, I managed to learn this criminal's plan, so I got in touch with Maria and told her that you were going to be attacked at that party. So that's why she told me not to go. Hitomi's voice trembled as she spoke. What do you... I don't see any windmills anywhere, Effie. I gave Maria a small GPS tracker to give to you, but I guess you never got it, huh? Global Positioning System, a network of man-made satellites and ground-based control stations for providing geolocation data. Alternately, a device that makes use of said system. Modern cell phones and vehicle navigation systems use the GPS. That's the sound. Hitomi shook her head. I see. She must still have it then. Wait, so then my sister... The colour drained from Hitomi's face as she understood. Yes, Kanan replied. Maria acted as a decoy and let herself get kidnapped in your stead. Hitomi swayed on her feet, shocked to the verge of fainting. Archie hurriedly reached out and caught her in his arms. Wait, he said to Kanan as he held Hitomi up. I don't get that either. Why did neither of them go? Then nobody would have been kidnapped, right? Wait, I'm pretty sure it's steed? I don't know, it's not a word I ever use. I guess stead makes sense because it's short, it's kind of like rooted in instead, but I feel like steed is correct. I'm not sure. I mean, why does sister need to go and act as a decoy? Oh, so stead. Thank you, Effie. Kanan let out a tiny sigh. But then can we trust you when you can't say Renner? Thank you, please do that. If she hadn't gone to the party... Wait. If she hadn't gone to the party, the kidnappers would have just found her some opportunity to come after her. Okay. Cicada's correct, though, isn't it? It's not cicada. 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 It's cicada. I'm pretty sure if anything, both are acceptable. Anyway. Okay, Archie nodded. That sort of makes sense. I'm betting that Maria's plan was to use the GPS to lead me to those guys' hideout. She wanted to keep her sister safe and also figured she could help me with my mission. It's the sort of scheme she'd think of. So then you can use the GPS to locate Hitomi's sister? Archie asked. Kanan shook her head. The GPS hasn't been powered on since she was kidnapped. It's possible the kidnappers took it from her. Wait, what? So after all that, even you can't find Maria? I'm sure Cicada is acceptable. Is that Joker? It looks like Joker. And also it says P5 at the end. I didn't say that. What do you mean? So what you're saying is that Cicada is the traditional one? I got some intel from the syndicate members who we met earlier. I'll just say Higurashi then. But I don't live in either of those states, anyway. Apparently sometime this morning they put Maria into a blue minivan, and since then they've been moving her all around Shibuya. Not sure about that. Archie and Hitomi exchanged glances at the mention of the blue minivan. Unfortunately, Kannan continued, those operatives didn't know what the current situation was exactly. Wait, what if Maria is in the attaché case? So we're back to the blue van then. Archie hurriedly explained what they'd been through so far. He mentioned how they'd first seen the blue van when the kidnappers had told Hitomi to find it. He also described how first the man with the cane and then a host of others had come after them. He got a little sidetracked here and there, but Kannan quickly listened to the end. I see, she muttered. So then what do you think? Archie asked. Seems like we messed up their scheme a little, huh? Shit, that was Archie again. Whatever the case, this man with the cane concerns me, Kannan said. I doubt he's working with the others. I don't know what that means. Maybe that's it. Some guy who isn't involved butts in and throws off their whole plan. Kannan nodded in agreement. Because you and that man with the cane showed up, she said, they couldn't leave the minivan where it was. They took a sensible precaution. But then if you think about it, isn't this an opportunity for us to turn the tables on Mr. Mastermind? Kannan flashed him a faint, speculative smile. Yeah, I'm surprised Archie knows what a minivan is. I wondered about that. Oh, come on, Archie grumbled. You're such a buzzkill. Any well-made plan has a good, solid outline, which means that even after it has come to fruition, it's easy to trace things back to the planner. Is that how it works? By contrast, if you achieve your goals by accidental means, the outline becomes blurred, and it makes it harder for anyone outside looking in to grasp the actual plan. Sounds like Minorikawa's day. And also Maria's day. Archie swallowed hard as he took in the gravity of the situation. Well, but I mean, like, if there's an accident, people are gonna for sure panic. Plan or not. The corners of Kanan's lips curled up. Typically, I suppose, she said. But the people who are after Hitomi, not only have they put together a perfect plan, they've purposely left certain tiny holes in it. And so we can't even figure out who they are. The outline of the plan is always too blurry. Archie had no response to that. It was like he was hearing about some completely different world beyond the one he knew. What if Kannan had said if what Kannan had said was true, he'd been dealing with opponents that were on a level way above his own. In any event, since these people are after you, it'd be best if you didn't wander around town anymore, Kannan told him. What if Cicada is like Palmer Palmy? Like, because that is the big pronunciation debate in Australia. By now Hitomi had recovered. She stood straight up and shook her head. No, I'm going to find that blue minivan. My sister's in danger because of me. I can't abandon her just to save myself. Yeah, that's right. Archie patted Hitomi on the back. And then he looked at his hand and saw blood. And if that's what you're gonna do, then I don't care who we're up against. I'm with you to the end. Heck, it's too late for me to back out now. That ship has already failed. Hitomi giggled despite herself. Wait. It's already sailed, Archie. Yeah. Kanan let out another little sigh. There we go. That's the Archie we know. Oh, wait, sorry. Alright, just make sure you're extra careful, she said. You can't count on getting bailed out of trouble like you have before. I understand, Hitomi said. Her eyes showed no trace of doubt or fear. Kanan gave her a slight nod and then quickly disappeared down the alleyway. That's actually, like, it's an interesting thing because, like, I know, for instance, like, in I, the Somnium Files, like, the Japanese jokes and the English translation are so different because, like, they make so many Japanese puns that can't be translated to English, and the English localization team do what they can, but they're obviously saying completely different jokes. Right then, Archie said, when I get back to looking for that minivan, and it must be hard too because, like, they have so many puns in that game. It's like there'll be like one plant and you can like click on it in 10 different instances, and Date and Iba have a new joke about them. Then he stopped, remembering their previous efforts. If they just heedlessly wandered around town, they'd probably end up in the same trouble they'd encountered before. They'd get chased down by the man with the cane or by the kidnappers, and their search would be interrupted yet again. Because like, I was watching a Let's Play which was using the Japanese, and the person playing, like, they speak Japanese to a good extent, and they were explaining like the difference between what was written and what was being said. What should they do then? There had to be a better way. Archie happened to glance upwards and caught sight of the surveillance camera installed on one of the streetlights. That's it! Yeah, I can't believe I didn't think of it before. Hitomi peered at him, startled by his sudden shouting. We just need to use my old man's surveillance cameras and this will be a breeze. Oh, here come the surveillance cameras again. Archie took Hitomi by the hand and started running. His destination? The security camera monitoring room in Dogenzaka. Minorikawa is going to be pissed. Archie didn't slow his pace until they were nearing the destination. Then he turned to look back at Hitomi. He was about to ask if she was doing alright when someone close at hand called to him. Hey, mind if I ask you something? Have you ever heard of SOS? Archie stopped in his tracks as a stranger stepped in front of him. The guy looked too old to be picking a fight with SOS. Archie regarded him with suspicion. Ayakamaki is everywhere. Yeah, why do you ask? Do you happen to be a member yourself? No, not anymore. The man's eyes flashed with a gleam of recognition. Wait. 14-year-old. Actually, she's 12. The man's eyes flashed with a gleam of recognition. Did this guy know who he was? With a broad grin, the stranger took a step closer. Archie's heart sank. He couldn't afford to get caught up in some new hassle right now. Hitomi flashed him a worried look. Let's go. Archie and Hitomi dodged past the man and hurried onward. Even if the guy was harmless, they needed to be on their guard. There was no telling just how many thugs and assassins were looking for Hitomi. To be fair, at the end of the day, Mizuki could beat the shit out of Date. Rather than head directly for the surveillance building, Archie decided he better make sure the stranger wasn't up to something. Hitomi followed as he slipped quickly into a back alley. There was no indication that the man was following them. What was that guy's deal? Hitomi asked. No idea, but he sure seemed kind of fishy. Doesn't look like he was coming after us though. They took a quick detour through another seedy back alley. Then, as they were starting to head toward their original destination, Archie felt a searing pain in his back. Well, I didn't expect it to happen like this. I didn't have a choice. Ugh. Glancing over his shoulder, he discovered that one of the foreign syndicate members had crept up behind and struck him from behind. Oh no, I've been stabbed. Now I know how Abraham Lincoln feels. Ugh. No. Ah! Hitomi screamed. Another man had suddenly appeared, grabbing her by the arms. Hitomi. Ashi tried to reach out to her, but his arm was leaden. His body refused to obey his commands. That's an image. As the attacker wrenched the knife from his back, Ashi felt the blood gushing from his wound. The two men started to drag Hitomi away. Damn it. He tried to pursue them, but his legs faltered and he couldn't find their footing. He was losing blood so fast he was starting to fade from consciousness. Ashi could only watch impotently, as Hitomi was dragged further and further away. Ashi got stabbed, caught in a surprise attack by one of the kidnappers. He could only watch helplessly as Hitomi was taken away. If that weird guy hadn't tried to talk to him, Ashi would never have taken the risk of wandering for the alleys. But how can you keep that guy from wanting to interview Ashi? Wait, what clip is this? I can't even tell from the name. Wait. Oh, okay. It's that. Alright, so now we know Minoru Kawa is to blame, and we're going to go to his timeline. And then it turns out that somehow Maria has interacted with Minoru Kawa in a way that he doesn't get to choose. So, Minoru Kawa has just done an interview with the guy from the musical, or the stage show, etc. And now, I forget where he's going next. No worries. Oh yeah. Wait a second. I feel like there's something I'm forgetting. Gah! Ashi got stabbed, and that's all that's happened. Minoru Kawa stopped and let out a cry of frustration. Daisuke Endo had asked him for a favour after the interview was done. He promised to tell the Wandering Angels that the dry ice machine they purchased was defective. He was stabbed by one of the kidnappers, the guy with curly hair. At last, the climax of the play drew near. There was a whole string of troubles, but the cast soldiered on, and it looked like things were going to end alright. Then backstage, Bando noticed the dry ice machine was acting strangely, even after it had been turned off. The machine continued to churn out more dry ice. The producer, Tsukuzawa, demanded that the defective device be returned immediately, so Shizuka, Bando, and Amo loaded into their vehicle and left the theatre. So it didn't even matter. Well damn, that had completely slipped his mind. If you recall earlier, the issue was that once the machine started making dry ice, it wouldn't stop. If he ran back to the theatre now, he'd lose about 10 minutes. Minoru Kawa checked his wristwatch. The lone people would be coming by the editing office before too long. He did prove that the next month's issue of 4-Star General Gossip was well underway, or else they'd refuse to wait any longer for repayment. And to do that, he needed to fill a minimum of 6 of the 12 remaining blank pages. He couldn't afford to waste even a single second. This was an awkward position to be in. He needed to keep a promise to Endo, but he also needed to spend his time wisely. Guess I didn't have a choice. I think I want to rush Minoru Kawa so that he maybe bumps into Ashi. I'm not sure. I'll see what this does though. There was nothing he could do about having forgotten. He hurried to the cafe. Sorry, Endo. Sorry, Arai. You're just gonna have to let this one slide. I've got Toyama's life on the line here. It's impressive that Toyama has managed to keep safe, even despite his chaotic day. He opened the door with to the cafe with the practice of the regular. Welcome. The waitress only got that oh, I missed the waitress. The waitress only got so far before her face fell. You again? Hey, hurry up and get me a seat. She grinned wickedly. I'm terribly sorry, sir, but we're all full at the moment. He looked around. All the seats were indeed filled. As you can see, sir. Really now? The waitress grinned wide in triumph. Yes, sir. Funnel's right here. Let me get some power. Jamming his power cable into a nearby outlet, Norikawa plunked himself right down on the floor and booted up his laptop. The waitress watched in dismay, then turned to stare vacantly up at the ceiling. Just do whatever you want, she muttered vaguely. I mean, at least Shuri is a good customer. You know, a person can only get away with being obnoxious for so long. Sooner or later, someone's likely to call the police. What is he doing here? Minorikawa looked up from his work, startled to see the burning hammer salesman standing over him. You're Mr. Yanagishi. Wait. Thank you so much for stopping by earlier. Are you gonna write your article here? Yanagishi eyed Minorikawa's computer. Ooh, that's the latest model, isn't it? Look, I've got no time to talk right now. Minorikawa opened the file of his half-written copy. Ooh, what's this? Chaos and bogus weight loss drink sale demo. Yanagishi read the copy aloud. The organizer, Junichi Yanagishi, didn't merely have a whiff of deceit about him. His breath also dunk. Sounds good? Minorikawa asked. I wanted to make sure I gave an accurate impression. Oh, I love what you've done with it. This is a great copy. Fantastic. Yanagishi turned to look at him with a manic grin. Yeah, isn't it? In a flash, Yanagishi's face went from grooving to livid. I'm waiting to see what he's gonna do. Like hell it is. You think I'm just gonna let you write something like that? Snatching up the computer. Look at that face. Yanagishi bolted out of the cafe. Hey, get back here! Minorikawa leapt to his feet and rushed off in pursuit. As he basically, Yanagishi was doing a sales demo that went very badly. Minorikawa is writing about it, and Yanagishi is trying to stop him from writing about it. Yanagishi is a very crazy man. As he sprinted madly along, Yanagishi turned down a narrow alley. Minorikawa stayed close behind, desperate not to lose sight of him. His quarry began to weave his way through the back alleys of Shibuya. This guy clearly knew his way around town. By Miyashita Park, they zipped up onto a pedestrian bridge. I can't read properly. Just where the heck is this idiot going? Halfway across the overpass, Yanagishi suddenly stopped. Confused, Minorikawa stopped as well. Get back! He called. The next moment, Yanagishi flashed a mocking grin and dangled the laptop over the railing. Uh-oh. Minorikawa lunged toward him, but it was already too late. The laptop left Yanagishi's hand and went spinning down through the air. Then as the two men struggled, Yanagishi himself toppled over the railing. What? This is... Without hesitating, Minorikawa jumped down as well. Well... Okay, that didn't sound too bad. Wait, look at Minorikawa. Minorikawa landed hard. As he struggled to regain his breath, he looked around and saw Yanagishi beside him. Incredibly, the laptop was safe in the charlatan's grasp. Apparently he somehow managed to catch it in midair. But before Minorikawa could get too relieved, however, Yanagishi got to his feet and was off running it. That would hurt a bit more than they're giving credit. Get back here, you little weasel. I don't think so. This Yanagishi guy was infuriating. That, and he was really fast. Minorikawa considered himself a decent runner, but he couldn't manage to gain on Yanagishi. If running away was a competitive sport, the guy would be a world-class superstar. As he ran along, a peculiar thought occurred to him. Hold on a minute. If he hates my copy so much, wouldn't he have wanted my computer to break? Why do you go out of his way to catch it like that? It made no sense at all. Hey! Minorikawa shouted between gasps and breath. What are you planning to do with my laptop? Yanagishi glanced back at him. Gonna sell it! Sorry about this! What? Minorikawa was taken aback. Consider it compensation for defamation of character. In the civil sense, an act of unlawfully damaging another person's character or reputation in the public eye. In the criminal sense, the act of disseminating damaging facts about an individual to an unspecified large number of people. Come on, Gabriel. It can't be defamation if the article hasn't run yet. They consider it an advance on the compensation. This was so nonsensical that it made Minorikawa's head hurt. But at least now he knew why Yanagishi had dived after the computer. The thief continued to weave his way through the side streets. His speed didn't diminish in the slightest. Damn it, this guy has way too much experience running away. This is also very true. Minorikawa's stamina began to fade. Finally he lost sight of his quarry. But that didn't mean he was ready to give up the search. There were articles on that computer that were right on the verge of completion. Whatever it took, he had to get it back. Yanagishi said he was going to sell it. Where could he be headed then? Surely not, so let's go to the sales demo venue. Probably he was headed to the sales demo venue. Maybe he was planning to find some more customers and auction the laptop off to them. Damn, the guy had led him on a wild goose with an H chase. Norikawa ran along Center Guy toward the Nokane building where the sales demo had been held. Before he got there, however, a glance to one side stopped him in his tracks. Aha! He chirped. He had spotted the knick-knack shop where he'd run into Miku about 2 hours earlier. Out in front of it was a poster that read, "We buy computers at top prices." Now he was certain. Yanagishi must be in there. There you are, Yanagishi! Minorikawa burst in the shop on Center Guy, an accusing finger pointed squarely at the thief. Wait. Listen, there's no way I'm buying a computer that doesn't have a power cable. Details, details! All you sell here is junk anyway! Yanagishi and the shopkeeper had gotten into an argument. Minorikawa recognized the shopkeeper. It was the guy he'd run into on the roadside earlier. That computer belongs to me! Minorikawa shouted as he marched up to him. Is he going to be mad at Minorikawa when he sees the face? I hope he is. Give it back! Yanagishi clasped the laptop to his chest. Nah, I need the money! Knock it off, you're acting like a child. Norikawa tried to slap him out of his tantrum, but Yanagishi ducked to avoid the blow. Then bizarrely, Yanagishi froze. A fierce gleam came to his eyes. He broke into an incomprehensible stammer. That's it! Yanagishi snatched up. Is it the ice cream shop? It is. a flyer that his gaze had fixed on. Lion Stomacher, this right here is my little bluebird of happiness, he cried. Or is it his bluebird of lamentation? Luna cried. You know what? You can have this. He's gonna get like Cherry to do it or something. Yanagishi just shoved the laptop into Minorikawa's arms. Wait. And welcome to it, you idiot. I didn't ever. Wait. And welcome to it, you idiot. I don't need no worthless computer. You're the idiot, Buster. Minorikawa smacked Yanagishi right across the face. Ouch! Hitting him felt good. He decided to do it again. Norikawa shoved Yanagishi towards the shopkeeper. Let's go over to the police, he said. Yeah, no, not the police, Yanagishi pleaded. Can it, you thief? You tried to rip me off and you have no idea how much is running on my work. You deserve 10,000 deaths. Honestly, you think that dying once would be sufficient. 10,000? Isn't that taking things a little too far? I'm sorry already, I give up. Finally, the guy was ready to surrender. Minorikawa let his guard down for just one moment. Black hell I am! Switching gears in an instant, Yanagishi took off running at full speed. This again. Get back here, you bastard! Minorikawa was already in pursuit. Wait, did he still have the laptop? I'm not even sure anymore. He stuck with Yanagishi as far as Kowandori before losing track of him. The guy sure knew how to make a getaway. Breathing hard, Minorikawa stopped and took a look around the area. Is he got an Ayakamiki ringtone? No, oh, it must be Osawa, but no one called Osawa. Anyway, as he did, he heard a cell phone ringtone from somewhere nearby. It was the new single from the pop singer Aya Kamiki. Could that be Yanagishita's phone? Huh, could be. Somehow he struck Minorikawa as the type of guy who'd have a ringtone like that. It seemed worth looking into anyhow. He had nothing else to go on. Minorikawa shifted his gaze around, trying to look at the source of the sound. I don't know what happened just now. Suddenly a massive fiery blast knocked him from his feet. By the time he realized it was an explosion, his senses were already shattered. What just happened? He couldn't see. He couldn't hear. He couldn't move his body. Where am I? For a while, all he could feel was an intense pain, but soon after, even that faded away. And then, there was only darkness. Has Maria, caused another terrorist attack? Chasing Yanagishita led Minorikawa to the wrong place at exactly the wrong time. This wouldn't have happened if Yanagishita hadn't run when he did. If the MMA fighter Mikuru Morita comes into a knickknack shop, she'll interrupt their argument and things might turn out differently. There are so many connected threads. But before I go into another story, I'm going to go and choose some other things for Minorikawa. No worries, Effie. Thanks for coming by, thanks for the raid, etc. Enjoy this nonsensical VOD whenever you do. He'd agreed to take on responsibility. He headed back to the theatre. How was that doxing? When he got there, he flagged down the first guy he saw to tell him about the dry ice machine. Hey, make sure you remember what I'm about to tell you, okay? The dry ice machine is broken. The man just stared back at him blankly, but Norikawa just forged ahead. Got it? The dry ice machine is broken. It needs to go back to the electronics store. Make sure you let the folks in charge know. His obligation met, he hurried back to the cafe to get back to work on his copy. Along his way, he caught sight, here we go, of a young couple running. They seemed like an odd pair. The girl looked prim and proper, while the boy struck him as a bit thuggish. In fact, the boy's clothing was very much in the style worn by Shibuya street gangs. Maybe he'd know something about SOS. Hurrying to cross their path, Minorikawa called out to the pair. So this is this is what makes Archie's timeline go wrong. Hey, mind if I ask you something? Have you heard of SOS? The pair stopped, even eyeing him waringly. The young man spoke. Yeah, why do you ask? Do you happen to be a member yourself? No, not anymore. Well, if the kid had once been part of the group, he ought to be able to provide some background anyway. Minorikawa took a step closer to the couple, formulating his next question, but they didn't stick around to hear it. Let's go, the young man said, and a moment later he and the girl were running away. Oh, hey! But the pair had paid him no heed. In the moment, he vanished down an alley. The story about SOS would have to wait until later then. I wonder if Minorikawa's timeline still continues even with this, or it'll have a different bad ending. Minorikawa hurried into the cafe. It seems not. Wasting no time, he sat down and plugged his laptop into the nearest power pot. He plugged himself down on the floor and hit the computer's power switch. The waitress gave him a disapproving look. Sir, I'm afraid you can't sit here. There. Well, it looks like your table's full. I'll make do here. Well, being able to make do isn't really the issue. I have a coffee, please. Just do whatever you want. So, a couple hours ago, Minorikawa was being an absolute nuisance in the cafe, and the waitress had to deal with every moment of it. She and him do not get along. The waitress turned away and stared vacantly up at the ceiling. You know, a person can only get away with being... Okay, it's the same. Let me think. So now let's try the other versions of this. Yeah. So while you were gone, Minorikawa and Yanagishi got into a big fight. They both fell off a bridge and lived, and to run about it. And then Minorikawa died in an explosion. Probably he was headed to a knick-knack shop. Minorikawa recalled seeing one near Birmingham and Demerside. He also recalled seeing a poster outside a place that said, "We buy computers at top prices." I'm guessing this is a fine ending. Like, this will be normal, but the other one, I wonder how that'll go. Damn, the guy had led him on a wild goose chase. The shop was surely where he was going to sell the laptop. Gulping a deep breath, he headed in that direction. There you are, Yannick. But if I choose the other path. Probably he was headed to Endo Electronics. It was the only local place he could think of that might buy a second-hand computer. Damn. The guy led him on a wild goose chase. Minorikawa started running toward Dogenzaka. As he approached the scramble outside the station, he caught sight of a skinny figure disappearing into the throng around Center Guy. A suit with deep bluish stripes. There was only one man he knew who dressed like that, but why was he headed down Center Guy and not toward Dogenzaka? Oh, now he remembered. Okay, so it doesn't matter. There was a second-hand knick-knack shop near where the Birmingham demo had been held. He recalled seeing a poster that said, "We buy computers at top prices." That had to be it. That's where Yanagishi was planning to sell his laptop. Change direction, Minorikawa darted towards Center Guy. There you are, Yanagishi. Okay. Question is, do I change Minorikawa's timeline yet or not? I think I'll leave it on Archie's bad end, and I'll continue over to Kano. And then I think I'll fix up Archie's and then see what happens to Osawa if Hitomi assumably lives. So now Kano is the detective who is on the case of the kidnapping of Maria/Hitomi. Kano practically dived from the car when it arrived on the scene at Maruyuki Mocho. The place was teeming with officers and onlookers alike. Out of the way, please move aside. Kano forced his way through the throng. Sasayama was lying in a massive pool of blood. Sasayama! Kano rushed to his partner's side. The knife was still embedded deep in Sasayama's belly. Deadpool. But I hope Sasayama's alright. Its handle shuddered each time he drew a laboured breath. Guess I messed up. Sasayama could only manage a raspy murmur. Please don't try to talk, Kano urged. Looks like I won't be celebrating the missus's birthday today. Sasayama drew a small package from his pocket. It had to be neatly wrapped and fitted with a pretty little ribbon. Here, give this to Michan for me. Wait. But Mion? She's from a different game. And you're not Rena. Kano shook his head. No way. You can give it to yourself. You've never met Michan, huh? She's real pretty. Probably surprised how pretty she... I know. You've told me all about her. Kano, please. Give this to my wife for me. Mustering up the last of his strength, Sasayama pressed the gift into Kano's hand. Sasayama. Sasayama's hand dropped back down to the puddle of blood. The paramedic team finally arrived at the scene. But also she's underage. As Sasayama was loaded into an ambulance, Kano felt a surge of rage roiling inside him. Clenching his fist so hard his nails dug into his palm, he marched over to the captive Al Karawan. Oh wait, I was supposed to just call him Al now. You son of a bitch! He went up for a punch to Al's face, only to have his arm caught forcibly by the elbow. I didn't look close enough at it. Swinging his head toward, he found Stanley standing there. Let go of me, Stanley. But the American had a grip of steel, and Kano's arm wouldn't budge. They allow you to assault suspects here in Japan, do they? Kano bit his lips, then lowered his shaking fists. No, of course not, he growled. Al let out a nasal chuckle as he watched the pair. With a cold glare, Stanley strolled over to him. He leaned in close to whisper something, and all at once the blood drained from Al's face. Visibly shaken, Al said something back to Stanley. Stanley gave a slight nod, then left the captive with the police escort. What is going on between those two? Kano went over to him. Hey, what was that all about? Apparently Al gave Tomi some instructions. Told her to get into a blue minivan that was parked along Dogenzaka. So Stanley's hunch had been correct. But why had Al confessed so quickly? How'd you get him to talk? You don't need to know that. Turning on his heel, Stanley went to report the news about the blue van to the task force. Kuze immediately directed the detectives nearest Dogenzaka to look into it, but they found no blue minivan in the area. I will say, like, I'll give credit to anything they do, because they did all of this in, like, the busiest part of Tokyo, in the middle of the day. Just all these nonsensical scenes. The order then came down for all personnel to search for the vehicle. Kenneth thought back to another item in the Dick Diary. Dictum number 14. Use the dead as a stepping stone, but be sure to die a stepping stone yourself. Hang on. In the abstract, Kano could only appreciate the nobility of self-sacrifice, but when he thought of Sasayama's blood-stained figure, it wasn't so easy to keep his emotions in check. First time you've ever seen a fellow officer get hurt. I don't know what to do with Stanley's voice, to be honest. Stanley had come back over to him. We don't have time to relax. If you can't keep your anger in, then do something about it here and now. Stanley pointed to his own jaw. Hit me, American style. Kano smiled wryly at the unexpected proposal. Without a word, Kano threw a punch. Stanley soaked up the rage-fueled blow, his face a mask of calm. Kano felt all the more miserable in the face of such unflinching resolve. If I weren't such a bumbling clod, Sasayama would never... Hey, don't blame yourself, Stanley said. You guys have been doing better than I expected. More sarcasm, huh? Stanley's mouth curled up sheepishly and he held his hands wide. Kuze's voice suddenly cut in over the wireless. We've looked at the Berlinian. It's in a Jinan, one Chame. Oh, Koen, Dory. They told me you might be there. And maybe the kidnapper's ringleader will turn up too. On pure reflex, Kano broke into a run. Stanley followed it close behind. They sped through the back streets, making their way towards Kowendori. I guess Backstreet really is back. Kano was a pretty fast runner, but Stanley kept up with him without apparent difficulty. Were you in the army? No, the Marines. United States Marine Corps. A rapid deployment force specializing in amphibious landing operations. An independent branch of the armed forces along with the Army, Navy and Air Force. The Marines' motto is Semper Fidelis, Latin for always faithful. It wasn't much further to Kowendori. Kano, if we find that van, don't get too close, Stanley warned. It could be a trap. Those people will do anything to carry out their goals. Anything, huh? Kano could sense the truth of Stanley's words. He reminded himself that his life could depend on remembering them. He raised his eyes. They were coming up on Kowendori. I will say, like, as sad as I am for Sasayama, I'm glad that it means I never have to do a conversation between him and Archie, because that would be, it would reveal the limitations of my voice actor abilities. Whenever you're not supposed to realize that they have the same voice because they're never in the same scene. Suddenly a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong, Kano thought. That's no ordinary city noise. Damn. That must be the sound of Ayakamiki's new mixtape. It's just fire. A column of black smoke rose up from between the two nearby buildings. Passers-by stopped and stared, gasping in alarm. So what on earth has Maria done this hour? Ooh, actual footage. Then Kano saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. Yeah, it's like, I can't imagine, like, if I ever saw one of the actors, like, in anything that isn't this, it would be so weird to me. It's kind of like, to me, the main character in Death Stranding's actor just looks really weird to me as a person. Someone had set off an explosion. The Shibuya precinct wasn't too far from here. Kano recalled the attempted bioterrorism attack on Kasumi Giseki. 2 years ago, the Tokyo Metropolitan Public Safety Commission obtained intel that an imminent bioterrorist attack within the city. Immediately afterward, the unoccupied minivan exploded outside the Metropolitan Police Department, and a device for dispersing a bacterial contagion was discovered at the subway platform at Kasumi Giseki Station. Having determined that the city bureaucracy was the target, the Japanese government contacted the terrorist organization responsible in secret, making a deal to put an end to the threat. I wonder how that is relevant to Osawa. That incident began with a van exploding outside the Tokyo MPD station. Already a large crowd of onlookers was gathering. Shouts rose up as they took in the scene. What's going on? What happened? The car is on fire! Kano called into the HQ. Yeah, Norman Reedus. He's just, like... I don't think I've seen him in anything before, and now if I ever see him in a picture or anything, and it's not, like, just from Death Stranding, he looks weird to me. Kano called in to HQ and then quickly slipped around to the back of the burning vehicle. It was a minivan. Peering at the flaming chassis, he could see that there was someone inside. Oh no. Could that be Hitomi? Once they had their hands for the antiviral, the criminals would have no further use for Hitomi Osawa. Already the body had been charred to ash. Oh shit, what if it's... spoilers for a certain visual novel. At this point, it was hardly recognizable as human anymore. Interesting, interesting. So there were no choices on that line so far. Oh wait, yes there is. Let's just get through these. I'm assuming this doesn't matter. I'm the one who deserves to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feel guilty. If it weren't such a bumbling clod, Sasayama would have never... Hey, don't blame yourself, Stanley said. You guys have been doing better than I expected. More sarcasm, huh? Stanley's mouth curled up sheepishly and he held his hands wide. Yep. Nothing there. No thanks, I'll be fine. Hitting the man wasn't going to make Kano feel any better. Stanley's expression remained unchanged. It's not like I don't understand why you guys wanted to punch the guy, he said quietly. If I didn't have to question him, I wouldn't have stopped you. Kano wasn't sure what to make of that. Are you encouraging me? Stanley held his arms wide open. Dunno, maybe? Okay. But... we have to make the Stanley gets punched in the face timeline canon, so... now I can continue. So... we will let Archie be free and then continue Archie's timeline. Archie didn't slow his pace until they were nearing their destination. He turned to look back at Tommy. It's only just a little bit further now. Did you want to walk? I'll be alright. Oh, Archie, look out! Looking ahead again, Archie saw that they were bearing down on a young grade school girl. Her head hung in dismay. Is it Hannah? Archie... It's Hannah. Archie hurriedly caught the girl up in his arms. The maneuver kept her out of harm's way, but the momentum swung her high into the air. She dropped a sheaf of papers she was carrying. As luck would have it, the papers fell amidst the trash scattered alongside the road. Whoops, sorry. She's pissed. Archie stopped to gather up the sheets of paper, noting that each was adorned with some sort of writing. Here, looks like they kind of messed up though. The pages landed in some kind of spilled liquid. Most of them had gotten stained. It's alright, the girl said gloomily. You should just throw them away. It's not like I can sell them now anyway. You're gonna sell them? Tommy asked. We're sorry. Do you think you'll be able to redo them? Wait. We're sorry. Do you think you'll be able to redo them? Archie, is there a stationery store around here? Yeah, up at the top of Dog and Zarka, Archie said. Yeah. He took a 5,000 yen note from his wallet and offered it to the girl. To buy new paper. I know I can't replace the stuff you wrote, but... The girl eyed the money doubtfully. But... It's... Wait, sorry. Who's talking? It's fine. Go ahead. Take it. Thank you very much. The little girl spoke with surprising formality. Then she turned and headed up Dog and Zarka. Archie gathered up the trash and tossed it into the garbage bin before he and Hitomi continued on their way. Sorry. Archie led Hitomi to an old multi-tenant building and then hurried inside and headed up the stairs. Behind the reception window on the second floor sat the custodian, sleeping on the job. He looks sort of familiar. You know, 5,000 yen is only like $50, but yeah, that is a lot for paper. Yukinori Kitijima. His main job is overseeing the monitoring room for the local surveillance cameras, but on the side he works as a novelist and game scenario writer. Is this like the actual writer of the novel? He often sleeps on the job during his free time, but sometimes when he's asleep he gets his writing done. Just recently, a certain game was released set in Shibuya, but since he wrote the scenario and emailed it to the game company while I was asleep, he didn't know about it until just the other day. That must be like the guy who wrote the story. Hey, wake up, man! Archie gave the window a tap, and the man woke up with a start. Wait. Let me think. Huh? Archie? Don't scare me like that. That's one chi too many. And wow, you sure seem to have a lot of free time on your hands. Yeah, no one's come by to check today. But that's no so good, right? I mean, I guess it is the surveillance room, but still. The man let out a big yawn. My dad asked me to come down here and check on the security monitors, actually, Archie said. Sorry to bother you when you're busy, Tommy added with a polite bow. Huh? Who are you? You Achichi? I'm Hitomi Hisawa. It's nice to meet you. Oh ho ho! What? You are Chichi's girlfriend? Again, too many cheese there, and that's none of your business. Just let me have the key. He doesn't want Hitomi to say no. Hoping his blush wasn't too obvious, Archie mimed unlocking a door. You want to answer a simple question, and you want me to hand over the key? Yes, I'm his girlfriend, Hitomi said. We just started dating. Archie is in disbelief. So I'm sure we'll be seeing more of you, sir. She flashed a winning smile. Oh well, what a surprise. Never thought Achichi could land a fine lady like yourself. The surprised custodian held out the key. Good for you, Achichi. Still one too many cheese there. But yeah, dating. Archie gazed into Tommy's face, even more surprised than the custodian. The key dangled, swaying to and fro from like a pendulum between Archie and the man behind the counter. Archie, Sammy said, nudging him to the side of the elbow. Come on. Oh, right. Snapping out of it, Archie took the key and headed up to the next floor. I'm sorry, Hitomi said as they entered the modern room. For just saying that we were dating like that. I mean, it was a pretty clumsy lie. No, it was just kind of sudden is all. It was just a little bit jittery, I guess. Archie felt his cheeks colour again. I mean, I figured I had to say something or he wasn't going to cooperate, Hitomi said. She looked a little embarrassed herself. Wait. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make things weird. No, Archie said. No, it wasn't weird at all. Actually, it was kind of... He stopped himself there. Now wasn't the time for that sort of conversation. They needed to find that blue minivan. The surveillance camera monitoring room was really just a big office with a single computer. Archie knew it well. The tension between those two, like... So this is the monitoring system, he explained. He switched on the computer. You can see all of downtown Shibuya from this one computer. Hitomi gazed impatiently at the monitor, even though it wasn't showing anything yet. The look of sheer determination on her face held Archie enthralled. You talk about how attractive your sister is, Archie murmured. But as far as I'm concerned, right now, you're the lovely one, Hitomi. Oh, he's leaning into it. Abort, Archie, before you get hurt. Hitomi looked at him uncertain. I mean, look at the lengths you've gone and the risks you've taken to save your sister, Archie said. She is just, like, so not impressed right now, it seems. I can't bear the thought that something might happen to her, and the last time we were together, I said such horrible things. Plenty of people do bad things without realizing they're bad, never mind trying to fix it. I'm just doing what I think is right. Yeah, but these days, most people don't do the right things. Heck, if they did, Shibuya wouldn't be covered in trash like it is. I appreciate it when someone really cares about the things that are important. Doing the right thing is a matter of course. That's very attractive. Archie blushed as he said it, and Hitomi shyly looked away. I think the system's ready. Turning to the computer, Archie hastily changed the subject. This thing's so simple even I know how to use it. Clicking on the mouse, he brought up a row of 4 computer windows on the monitor. All of Shibuya. Each window showed a different view of the Shibuya cityscape. The image quality is not great. The image quality is not great, but that's because it's being updated on a 2-second delay, I guess. Archie tapped on the keyboard, bringing up shots of different locations. He clicked on one of them in order to enlarge the image. Maybe we really can find the minivan with it. Hitomi was practically glued to the screen. My dad's the one who designed the security system. Your dad must be pretty amazing. Well, he graduated top of his class at Tokyo Denko University and has over 100 confirmed connections of cameras. A prestigious national university founded over a century ago. Applicants who place highly on the entrance exam can receive a full scholarship. Archie's father was one such attendee. The school had supported extensive research into the artificial intelligence and recently announced an AI program known as Body. Australian radio just perked up at the thought. While the computer is asleep, different personalities emerge, which have an impact on various normal thought processes, forming a network of more human-like thought patterns as a result. He always said he could have a career in computer engineering, but he took over the electronics shop so they could marry my mother instead. That's such a sweet story. Did they run the store together then? Archie shook his head. No, my mother died when I was 4. Oh, I'm sorry. Hitomi sounded even sadder than Archie. Well, anyway, never mind that. Here, look. The seedy-looking weirdo they run into on Geigo was on the screen. That guy again. Said weirdo was running it all out. A laptop computer under one arm. He was being chased by a man in a long coat. That guy sure gets chased around a lot, huh? Archie said. When the weirdo slipped out of view, Archie switched to another camera. The new view showed the weirdo running again. By hopping from camera to camera, they could track him wherever he went. As long as we have these cameras, Archie said, this guy has nowhere to run. Nowhere to run, huh? The moment he said those words, they struck an old chord in his mind. He remembered the repeated run-ins the man had with Kane. How the assassin had seemed to always know where to find him. Archie, please, Hitomi urged. Stop messing around, let's look for the minivan. I feel like tracking him is going to make him find something important, but I'm going to do it anyway. Sorry, there's just something I'm curious about. Archie continued to track the seedy-looking man. The weirdo rushed into a knick-knack shop on Center Guy. Soon after, the man with the coat appeared and followed him into the shop. Aha! Looks like he snatched up that guy's computer. Still, they remained glued to the monitor. Oh, that's me. Hitomi's got a cell phone. Oh yeah, that's right, of course, she has the same ringtone because Osawa bought her the CD for her. It's an email from Mr. Tanaka. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was about time for my mood to take a dip, Archie thought. I wonder what Tanaka's up to. What? Tommy blurted. She looked up from her phone. Archie, Mr. Tanaka found the minivan. He what? What does it say? Read it to me. Okay. I ran after it, but wound up losing sight of it. He was heading towards Jinan. That's what he says. What about your sister? Was she inside? He doesn't say. Archie switched over to an array of surveillance cameras near Jinan. The few seconds the transition took felt agonizingly slow. Finally, 4 new images popped up. Archie quickly enlarged one of them. Tell me that as a gasp. There on the monitor was the only blue minivan in all of Tokyo. There was no doubt about it. Archie and Hitomi rushed from the building, speeding towards Jinan in an all-out run. Run, Archie! Run, Hitomi! Run, other guy who's looking for Miku. What is going on? Neither spoke, they simply dashed along in silence. In fact, should Minorikawa be dead yet? Archie felt as if they were running a marathon and the finish line had already come into view. They hooked a left at the station and darted past the Seibu department store. Aha! Archie pointed as it came to a stop. The blue minivan was still there, parked by the curb alongside a slight hilly incline. Leaving Archie behind, Hitomi started rushing up the hill. Alarm bells started going off in Archie's mind. Someone from the kidnapping crew was in that van. It was dangerous to approach carelessly. I don't know what difference these will make. Hitomi, wait! Archie shouted. But she didn't appear to hear his cries. The hope of rescuing her sister had driven all else from her mind. Archie started to run after her. Hitomi had reached the vehicle already. She brought her face close to one of its windows, but the tinted glass obscured the view inside. Hitomi circled around the minivan's other side. Archie saw her grasping at the door. She slipped out of his view for just a moment. Yep, there we go. Does that mean the van landed on Minorikawa? Because, like, it seemed like these people who were just on the street didn't, like... And even Archie, like, he doesn't seem like he's hurt. But Minorikawa died. There was a thunderous explosion and a gout of flame tore the roof of the minivan like it was made of aluminum foil. Hitomi! Horrified, Archie started through roiling smoke? Searching for Hitomi. I've never seen that word before unless it's a typo. He saw 2 figures sprawled out on the street, several meters from the van. Hitomi and Kanan. Hitomi, wake up! Archie cradled her in his arms, and her eyes drifted open faintly. Are you okay? Are you hurt? Hitomi didn't appear to understand him. Her only response was a blank, dazed look. It's Maria, isn't it? No, it's not, okay. There was a small patch of red on her face. Archie wiped it gently away with his finger. He saw no further signs of bleeding. She must have been splattered by someone else's blood then. As far as he could tell, she hadn't been gravely injured. Archie let out a sigh of relief. Hitomi, is she alright? Oh, sorry. Hitomi, is she alright? Kanan stirred on the ground. Her clothes were scorched in places, and she was bleeding from her head. Kanan, did you save her? Is she alright? Yeah, what about her sister? Kanan didn't respond. No, it can't be. Archie went to look inside the van. Amidst the smoke and flames, he could make out the outline of a body. What happened here? Archie had to look away. Get Hitomi out of here, hurry. See, I can't decide which one to reference because that could be two things. Kanan's face twisted up with pain. Alright. Archie settled Hitomi carefully in his arms. Wait, I need to tell you something. Kanan's painted gasp. Called him out. Shit, I did the wrong voice again. Alphard. Huh? Alphard? That's the name of the mastermind. Wait, that's the name of the mastermind. I'm sure it'll come up again if you keep pursuing this. But if you value your life, don't get involved with Alphard any further. Now go. Okay, thanks. With Hitomi in his arms, Archie hurried back from the scene. Remember the innocent days of the ASMR cockroach stream? He wasn't sure where he was heading. He just wanted to get away. Wait. Like Lenny Kravitz said or something. Wherever that meant. He carried her past the crowd of onlookers that had swiftly begun to assemble. The flames of the burning van rose ever higher, roaring up towards the heavens. Ooh, we made it to the end of the hour. So let's try some other choices on Archie's timeline. And then after that, I'll go back to Osawa and see what happens when Hitomi lives. Wait, is that the first one? No, that's the previous hour. What even is this one? I can't even remember. Oh, right. Okay, so what is this gonna do? Archie took a quick leap to one side. He managed to avoid crashing into her and taking a tumble himself, but the girl was still definitely a bit shocked. Sorry about that, Archie said. Are you alright? But the girl didn't answer or even meet Archie's eyes. She just looked around as if in a daze. Was she waiting on someone, maybe? Odd kid, Archie thought. I hope she's okay. Once more, Archie and Hitomi set off running. Archie led Hitomi to an odd... Yep, okay. I'm sure that matters somewhere, but I'm not sure where. Archie, please, Hitomi, stop messing around and let's look for the minivan. This surely doesn't matter. They get a phone call so soon after. Alright, my bad. Archie switched over to a different camera. He continued switching views, scanning the streets of Shibuya, but there was no sign of the blue minivan anywhere. Everything is be alright. Still, they remained glued to the monitor. Oh, that's me. Okay. And then... This strikes me as it does nothing, but we'll see. Alarm bells started going off in Archie's mind. Someone from the kidnapping crew was in that van. It was dangerous to approach carelessly. Stay back, don't get too close, Archie shouted. but she didn't appear to hear his cries. The hopes of rescuing her sister had driven over everything else from her mind. Archie started to... Yeah, okay. So now... what does Osawa have to do? Oh no, don't remind me of that song. Wait. Ugh. It occurred to Osawa that he never tried to tell anyone how he felt before. He never felt the need to. And yet, right now, he suddenly felt that as if his daughters were to appear before him, he might blurt out everything he'd ever left unsaid. It was a terrifying thought. Darling, I, Osawa's wife, opened the door and stepped into the room. The detectives are asking for you. It seems there's been a development. We'll be right there. Osawa and Kajiwara hurried out of the room. Ooh. I wasn't expecting that. So where does that leave us? Kano has a keep out. Minorikawa has a bad end. Osawa has a keep out. Maria is undecided, and we can't save Minorikawa yet, I think. So Maria has just escaped from the building. Oh wait, no, Maria has met up with the man of the cane who thinks that she is Hitomi and is trying to kill her. So let's see where this goes. Wait, hold on. Is my name Hitomi Osawa? At my shout, the man with the cane hesitates, his fingers on the trigger. What do you mean by that? The barrel of his gun is still aimed squarely at my head. I mean exactly what I said. Is my name Hitomi Osawa? I don't know who I am. You're trying to play games with me. I'm not playing games with anyone, I swear. I'm utterly desperate. Now, getting killed is one thing, but who wants to die without even knowing who they are? Tell me, am I Hitomi Osawa or not? The man gives me a good hard look. Damn, I wonder. He continues to study me along the barrel of the gun. Tell me what you know. Wait, sorry. Tell me what you know. It's an order, not a request. Want to know about what? Look, I have amnesia. Dun. I quickly summarize what's happened to me since I woke up in that storehouse. The man listens intently, never taking his eyes off me. Oh, I see, so that's what's going on then. Once I'm done with my story, the man with the cane sits down on an empty soda crate. Seems he believes me at any rate. It's a relief if nothing else. So then, am I Hitomi Osawa? No. Then who is Hitomi Osawa? Is she someone who looks like me? Shut your mouth, the man spits. Just be quiet. Wait, you T-head. What is this meme? Like, that is a weird assortment of letters. Okinmij? Jokin something? I'm curious to look up the phrase "you T-head." There's a thread on Game FAQs. Maria's shirt mild spoilers. I guess I'm just not gonna look at it. If you want to, oh yeah, feel free to. Oh, I mean, yeah, just let me get it. I don't know if there's any answers in it. That's the first link result on Google. If I'm not Hitomi Osawa, does that mean you don't have any business with me? Seems so. In that case, can I go? The assassin doesn't answer. He lets his pistol hang limp in his hand, muzzle dropping to point at the ground. It doesn't look like he wants to kill me anymore, but it doesn't look like he'll just let me go quietly either. Let's try to take the gun, obviously. I need to do something about that gun he has and then make a run for it. I pick up one of the crates that are lying around in the alley and hurl it in the man of the cane. So, what on earth does that mean? Then I book it right out of there. I wonder why Maria took so a liking to it there. I run for a long time without looking back. When I finally do take a peek over my shoulders, there's no sign of the guy following me. Slowing my run to a walk, I notice the Miku, the girl I fought for the cases of Burning Hammer, sitting on a nearby staircase. Thanks for earlier, I call it out. She gives me a puzzled look. You let me have those diet drinks from the knick-knack shop? Revelation dawns on her face. Oh right, I didn't recognize you since you're not a cat anymore. That's a sentence out of context. What are you doing here, I ask. Just, like, you know. She gives me a half-hearted smile. So, where'd you learn Aiki Jiu-Jitsu? Huh? The question catches me off guard. I don't know what to say. That's like, it reminds me of, like, the rich people in Parasite, the movie, who are, like, always speaking English, like, as a sort of show-offy thing because they seem to be fascinated by American culture. But really, like, they're very weird about it. The question catches me off guard. I don't know what to say. Your Aiki Jiu-Jitsu. Where did you learn it? My Aiki Jiu-Jitsu? Now she mentions it, that's a great question. I mean, I must have learned it somewhere, or my body wouldn't have moved the way it did back then. I wonder who taught me. Try as I might though, I can't remember. Miku interprets my silence as a refusal to answer. She lets out an annoyed snort. Why is it... what? Is it a trade secret? Fine, then how long did you train? Not that long, I guess? Probably? I'm just trying to avoid telling her that I have amnesia, but she obviously thinks I'm being secretive. I only watched it a few weeks ago, but it's really good. I'm obviously the first person to say that. You know, she says angrily, after losing to you, I've completely fallen apart. I've lost everything. Do you know how that feels? To feel like you've lost hold of the thing that makes you, you? A nod of conviction. I do know. Oh shit, I was speaking the wrong voice this whole time. I've lost things too. Like my memory. You do? Well, I just can't take this anymore. I'm having a complete breakdown of identity. Yeah, I've heard there's like a lot of cultural Korean stuff that it's hard for Western audiences to really understand. Which is obviously quite like how most English-speaking people don't realize that Gangnam Style is a parody of like people of a certain upper-class bourgeoisie in the South Korean district of Gangnam. Obviously, these are very similar pieces of satirical works. Developmental psychologist Eric Homburger Erickson was a key proponent of the concept of self-identity, the ability for individuals to continually and reliably know who they are and what they should do. I mean, I'm saying this having lost you and all, but a long time ago, do you mind if I tell you some stuff from a long time ago? Anyway, so a long time ago, and so Miku launches into her story. I think maybe it is for the best I quit, she asked at last. By now, 15 minutes or so have gone by. I've listened to Miku go on and on about her teenage years because I feel bad about getting her so depressed, but yikes. She's asked me all these questions I don't even understand, and although I'm starting to get sort of fed up with her angst, I keep my patience and respond as best I can. If you love doing it, then I don't think you should quit, I tell her. Chances are, if you try to do something else, you're just going to come back to martial arts anyway. Besides, who sent you down this path in the first place? You think so? Maybe you're right. Yeah, you are. Miku's face has regained a measure of cheerfulness. Thanks. I'm going to keep practicing more and more until I get stronger. I'm not going to lose to you next time. I'll keep that in mind. I've got no interest in fighting her again, but for now I'll keep that to myself. Alright then, see you around. With a parting wave, Miku hops to her feet and heads off. As I watch her leave, a feeling of jealousy wells up within me. Did I once have something I was passionate about? I don't even know because I can't remember. I just can't remember. That gunman, the one with the cane, he might know something about me. And at this point, I'm willing to risk a run-in with a killer to find out more about myself. I decide to head back to where he was before. I wonder if I could finish this whole hour before the stream ends. I feel like I'm fairly far in a lot of them. When I arrive at the alley though, there's nobody there. Paradoxically, I'm both relieved and severely disappointed. Then I happen to notice something lying on the ground. What is it? I pick it up. It's a notebook. Zipped in the back cover is a photo showing two boys and a girl. Well, what do I do now? Do I go to the police? How do I even explain the situation? I can see it now. There's this killer out there, and he's after this person named Hitomi Osawa. Wait, I should probably said it in her voice. And then the police would be like, who is that? And who exactly is after her? And then what would I say? Heck, they might not even give me the time of day in the first place. Not only do I not have any idea who Hitomi Osawa is, I know nothing about the guy who's after her except that he walks with a cane. I mean, I can't even tell them who I am. They'd probably shoo me away without a second thought. What am I supposed to do? I hang my head in total loss. The necklace around my neck sways idly to and fro. But it still doesn't answer how I saved Minorikawa. Unless this decision tree does it. Wait, what are you saying? Did I say something stupid? Ah. That's not a phrase I think I'm familiar with. I remain motionless, waiting for an opportunity to run away. I might not make it in time, the man murmurs to himself under his breath. Not make it in time for what? I'm curious now, but this is hardly the time or place to find out more. I've learned for certain that I'm not Hitomi Osawa, which basically tells me nothing. I'm right back to square one and figuring who I am. It actually tells you more than you think it does, but... The assassin has gone quiet, sitting on a pile of crates. He seemed lost in thought. Still, I don't dare try to get in the way. All I can do is stand and wait and mull over my own situation. Just who am I? I ask myself again and again. I am... No. I have no... Wait, no. I have no business with you, the man firmly says. Go. Don't worry, I won't follow you. I wonder if I can believe him. Maybe he's just trying to get me off my guard so he can shoot me in the back. Do not go to the police or go back home, he continues. Lay low by yourself and somewhere for a while. How long is a while? Until around sundown. This should be all over then. It'll all be over? I have no idea what it is, but I decide not to pry in case he decides to change his mind. Okay, I'm gonna run away now. Sure. I take a slow step backward. I'm starting to turn away when he speaks up again. Before you go, I need to tell you one more thing. What's that? When you get your memories back, I'm sure you're going to hate me. And so I apologize in advance. Of course, I have no idea what he's talking about, but it makes me even more uneasy. I truly am sorry. I've got no response for that, so I truly am sorry. I've got no response for that, so I just give the man one last look before I turn and run. I decided to look for some place to hide out for a while, as the gunman suggested. But since I don't really know my left from my right in this town, it's easier said than done. Oh, is that Renna? Because she always repeats things. Before I realise that, I've made my way back to the knick-knack shop where I bought the necklace. Maybe I could hide out in here. As I contemplate that possibility, I hear an all too familiar voice. Tama, 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 Tama! What on earth is going on now? There's Mr. Yanagishi on the floor of the shop. He's been tied up with some... Oh, it's because... the girl got here and changed the situation. What happened, boss? There was a... Speaking of bondage, there's a BDSM joke in the Higurashi anime I noticed. In the like in one of the ending vignettes with Rika and other character, I think Rika makes a joke about doms and subs at Comiket or something like that. It's very strange. Look, this is all just... I was framed! Nah, whatever happens, I'm pretty sure it was all his fault. Just called a hunch. He says I'm a thief. Well, I say he's the thief for selling stuff he finds around town. Hey! The sales clerk steps into view, scowling. Just what are you implying? What in the world is going on here? I haven't the foggiest. Summer, help me, please! Yanagishi kicks and squirms like a hyperactive child. Do you know this man? The sales clerk asks. No, well, I mean sorta. He's a real pain. He's been making a scene like this for as long as he's been here. I find it hard to imagine a worse way to interfere with someone's business. I hate to ask, the clerk continues, but could you take him to the police for me? The police? Yeah. Well, the police... The gunman did specifically warn me to not go to them. I feel no loyalty to that killer, but I am reluctant to antagonize him. And for reasons I can't explain, I have a strong sense that going to the police right now is a bad move. But Mr. Yanagishi isn't privy to my thoughts, and he looks up at me with a hopeful gleam in his eye. Yeah, that'll work. Tama can take me to the police, and then we can put this all behind us. All's well that ends well, right? Well, sure. Feeling I have no choice, I leave the shop with him. Okay, Mr. Yanagishi said excitedly as soon as we're out of earshot. Now let's go find Shiri. Huh? Are we going to the What? No, we're not really gonna go. Oh man, I'm so glad you showed up, Tama. Now come on, let's go find Shiri. From the big grin on his face, I have an inkling of what's coming next. You thought another get-rich-quick scheme, haven't you? Goodness, Tama, you can see right through me. It's not that difficult. It's practically written all over your face, boss. But Mr. Yanagishi isn't really listening. He's too full of enthusiasm. This time I got a line on 10 million yen. Come on, let's go make ourselves stinking rich. He punctuates his grand announcement by pointing fervently at some non-existent listener. What is that transition? Several weeks later? Iron Stomach, a celebration truly astonishing sights, where the somebody striving for the complicated something. I stand with Cherry on the winner's podium. The cheers and applause are deafening when the Master of Ceremonies makes the announcement. To be honest, it's not so much he wants to be rich, he actually wants to pay off his debts. Because he has debt collectors chasing him. And so he's trying to make the money as fast as he can. Shuri is the champion. She laughs with delight as she holds up the trophy that signifies her 10 million yen. Yeah, but is she gonna give it to you? And me? I got runner-up. I wasn't too into the idea at first, but giving it a shot, I found that professional gluttony kinda grows on you. I guess she hasn't eaten today, but... Even I was surprised by how much I could eat, and I had to admit, it felt kinda good. My memory still hasn't come back, but that doesn't matter anymore. I found myself a new purpose. To steal Sherry's spot on the throne. That right there is now my greatest goal in life. Sounds like a pretty good end to me. She didn't die in an explosion. Tama never got her memories back. She ended up starting a new life in the competitive eating circuit, which may not be a horrible fate, but wouldn't it be better if she recovered her old life as Maria? When she was cornered in the alley by the man with the cane, there's someone who could have turned up and helped her out, Yanagishita. But he can't do that if he ends up getting tied up at the next shop. Wait, but I thought he gets tied up... There's layers to this, I assume. But now the explosion doesn't happen, I guess, so... What's happening with Kano? Suddenly, a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong, Kano thought. That's no ordinary city noise. Okay, the explosion's still there, but I guess Maria's not there. A column of black smoke rose up between the two nearby buildings. Passers-by stopped instead, gasping in alarm. Here comes the cutscene again. Then Kano saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. Someone had set off an explosion. Several people were on the ground nearby, evidently injured by the detonation. I'm gonna rush through this because, yeah. Mr. Norikawa. A high school aged girl was crying, clinging to tightly to a man who'd been caught in a blast. Kano recognized her as the girl he'd been talking to earlier during the traffic jam. The man looked like he might still be alive. Kano hurried over to them. Police! He announced. Blood was steaming from the man's mouth. He clearly suffered some internal damage. Hang in there, buddy, Kano told him. Stay with us. The man's face twisted up in pain, but somehow he managed to croak out a few words. Kano let a gasp. The man's voice was almost too weak to hear, but what he said still shook Kano to the core. This man knew something important. Really? Really? Something crucial to the investigation. Rescue vehicles arrived on the scene, and a wounded man was promptly loaded to a stretcher. Or is that just what Kano thinks? Surely he doesn't. When he was placed inside the ambulance, Kano flashed his badge at the paramedics and got alongside him. The man had already fallen unconscious. Kano didn't know when he'd back up, but he knew he needed to hear what the guy had to say. He sensed that the stranger was the key to unlocking the entire case. Couldn't have picked anyone else. But though Kano kept a lonely vigil, the man never woke up again. The antiviral had been given to Hitomi, the blue minivan Al was told Hitomi to look for. And now, the minivan exploding. Kano was sure this man had known how all of these tied together. But now, the key to solving the case was gone for good. Oh, okay, I guess we're going to Minorikawa. Kano tried to get information from a man who was caught in the explosion, Minorikawa, but he arrived too late. If Minorikawa hadn't been caught in the blast, things would have gone differently for Kano. At 3:30, someone shouts something, and depending on what they shout, both Kano and Minorikawa's fates may change. Okay, I'm going to try my hardest to make Minorikawa get in that blast. Oh wait, if I do that, it'll just be the same bad ending. You're the idiot, Buster! Norikawa smacked Yanagishi right across the face. Ouch! Hitting him felt good. He decided to do it again. He drew back his arm to deliver another blow, but then someone else came in the shop. Yanagishi's eyes lit up as they saw who it was. Oh, my angel! Whatever. Wait. I can't tell who. It feels like Yanagishi's talking about this photo, but whatever is my darling Miku doing here? Miku stood in the doorway on the verge of tears. Mr. Minorikawa, she began, then her voice choked up. Miku, what's the matter? Is something wrong? Miku drew in close to Minorikawa's side. Huh? Yanagishi's gaze darted back and forth between Minorikawa and Miku. You two know each other? Sort of. What are the point? Is she the girl you said you were in love with? That's right, the one and only Miku. Oh right, that's right. I forgot. He's obsessed with her. I have her entrance music set as my ringtone. Paying no heed to Yanagishi's excitement, Miku kept her eyes fixed on Minorikawa. I lost to a girl who knows Zaku Jiu-Jitsu. I lost. She buried her face in Minorikawa's chest. Ugh. Yanagishi let out a gasp. What's this about? What is this all about? He seemed on the verge of panic. Mr. Minorikawa, I need to learn Aikido Jiu-Jitsu. I feel so ashamed. She buried her face even deeper in Minorikawa's chest. That's so unfair! With tears in his eyes, Yanagishi darted out the door. I thought he was going to get tied up. Minorikawa glared after the pathetic fellow as he scampered off. That guy sure knows how to take advantage of a bad situation. I'll give him that, he murmured. I think I'll let him get tied up because that ruins the other timeline. I can't let him get away. I'm going to catch him and hand over to the police. Obviously he's breaking the law, and that's not okay. But going against my rules, that's really crossing the right line. Minorikawa snatched the heavy kettle from the table as he raced out the shop. Nobody runs away from me without my say-so. He sprinted after Yanagishi. He hurled his makeshift weapon. The kettle flew straight into Shrew, striking Yanagishi in the face. Ugh! With a dull croak, he dropped to the ground unconscious. So, falling off of an overpass, fine. A kettle? Horrible. T-head. Smiling with grim satisfaction, Norikawa tied up Yanagishi with some rope and the shopkeeper provided, then put him in the back of the shop for the police to collect. He explained the situation to the shopkeeper, who flashed a sympathetic smile. Ah, is that so? Lucky for you he screwed up then. Much as I'm happy to do business, I just can't buy a computer that doesn't come with its accessories. So you'd have bought it from me if you hadn't seen any of the accessories? Of course, stolen or not, it's all the same once I've sold it. The shopkeeper chuckled unapologetically. I suppose it's true. Norikawa laughed along with him. Yeah, all the same. Like hell it is, he roared. The shopkeeper froze like a startled rabbit. I bet everything you have for sale is for stolen, hasn't it? Don't be ridiculous. I warn you up front, there's no use hiding things from me. I've interviewed you after all. I know you. The shopkeeper was getting more and more flustered. Well, I mean, just look, this is just between you and me, okay? Sometimes I go around gathering stuff that people have lost and I sell it here. But it's not stolen, just repurposed. There's nothing wrong with that, right? The shopkeeper smiled ingratiatingly. You moron! Norikawa stuck his finger at the man's face. Selling lost property is a serious crime too. A potential violation of Article 254 of the Penal Code, which Japan regarding embezzlement of lost property, which states a person who embezzles lost property, drift property, or any other property which belongs to another person is in no one's possession and is no one's possession shall be punished by imprisonment with work for no more than a year, a fine of not more than 100,000 yen, or a petty fine. The word property no longer means anything to me. It is? Well, I mean, I guess I sort of figured it might be. Well, I'm not the police. I'm more into curiosity than legality, but I found this all pretty fascinating. I mean, what sort of things have you gathered up for sale? Well, let me see, like this, and this, and that, and this, and that, and this. And the man pointed to various items on the shelves. And also this, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, I guess. Norikawa's eyes were directed all over the shop. Everything the shopkeeper had pointed out had a hefty price tag. And you're actually able to sell things like this, Minorikawa asked. Sure, I can sell stuff. Earlier today, someone bought a big necklace. I listed it for 40,000 yen, but I discounted it down to 30,000. And you still making profit even on offering discounts? Sure, I mean, it was something I just found laying on the ground after all. Norikawa looked back at him, and for a moment he laughed as well. Then his face turned hard. This is not like a matter, he bellowed. You need to stop what you're doing here right away. Otherwise you're going to find out what it's like to be punished by the pen of justice. I'm so sorry! The shopkeeper bowed repeatedly. Norikawa glared. The truth was right now he was too busy to let this guy slide. Still... No, he was so busy he'd have to let this guy slide. Still, this whole asinine affair had eaten up a big chunk of time he didn't have to waste. He was going to have to finish his copy back at the editing office. Laptop in hand, he left the shop, only to stop short when a slight figure stepped out in front of him. Mr. Morikawa. No, Mr. Morikawa. Miku stood there, barring his path. Please introduce me to a dojo where I can learn Aikido Jiu-Jitsu. I'm sorry, I really don't have time for this right now. Morikawa tried to hurry onward, but she stubbornly refused to let him pass. You introduced me to that other dojo before, remember? I suppose so, now that you mention it. He tried to slip by her on the right-hand side, but she was too quick to block him. You're the one who introduced me to the world of martial arts, Mr. Morikawa. Well, yes, you know, you're putting me in a bit of mind here. Trying to slip by her on her left was a no-go too. She could anticipate his every move. Please, just hear me out, Miku said. She was speaking through quiet sobs. Now, I can't stand to leave things like this. She looked through Morikawa. Do I need to do the voice again? Morikawa right in the eye. This is a good opportunity. You can find something to do with yourself. This isn't martial arts. What? You were the champion of that one pub, right? Maybe you're done with that one. You should find a girlish line of work instead. Because you're into trouble. You jerk! Miku delivered a blindingly fast slap to Minorikawa's cheek. Why'd you have to put it like that? You're so mean! Bursting into tears, Miku ran off. Hey, Miku! She gave him no sign that she heard him and didn't turn around. Minorikawa rubbed his cheek. It stung. For once he actually regretted what he said. Maybe he shouldn't have assumed she was willing to just give up her hobby. He did in fact know of several Aikido Jiu-Jitsu dojos. If only he had the time, he could have introduced her easily enough. Checking his watch, he saw that he only had 30 minutes and could change until 4 o'clock. There was no more wiggle room at this point. These articles needed to get written fast. He needed to get back to the editing department. And yet... Oh, damn it, I can't get work done like this. Norikawa broke into a run. But he didn't go for Heaven Publishing. He said he went for Miku. Alright, I'm curious about the other ones, because that was a bit of a rude thing to do to her. Sorry, you're just perseverance and you're able to win again. This is something you need to do yourself. But you were the champion of that one pub, right? Maybe you're mistaken for thinking you'd be able to win an actual, for real fight. You could be into trouble. Okay. Pretty consistent. I'm sorry, but I really don't have time to just have this discussion right now. I need to get the copy wrapped up before 4 o'clock. This discussion? You're already champion of that one pub, right? Maybe this is a good opportunity. You could just wash your hands of the martial arts world. Make it be interesting. Well. Doesn't seem to manage. Wait, so... That's still... Alright, they're all still the same, so... No choice but to change this one. Let's see where that takes us. Anyhow, I'm just glad I got my apartment back. Ordinarily, he'd be inclined to pursue me and subject him to a tirade at the very least, but there was no time for that now. He explained the situation to the shopkeeper, who flashed a sympathetic smile. Oh, is that so? Like you screwed up then. Okay, doesn't change anything there. Okay, so now Maria has a different timeline. Wait a minute, Minorikawa's... They said at past, so we still haven't gotten to Minorikawa's main decision there. Still, I don't dare to get in the way. All I can do is stand and wait and mull over my situation. Just who am I? I ask myself again and again. I am... out of my home, moving in shadow. Tama, Tama! I am... Tama? I turn at the sound of an exuberant voice and see Mr. Yanagishi running my way, flailing his arm in a friendly greeting. I swear, this guy could wind up banished to the pits of hell, and he'd still give it his all day in and day out. Oh, thank goodness it is you, Tama, I knew it! The man with the cane grumbles something incoherent and then holsters his gun and flees the scene. Huh? Now you're with some middle-aged guy? You look so sweet and innocent, but I guess you kinda get around, huh? Boss, nice timing. I do a little fist pump. Whatever he's doing here, I'm glad he drove off. Whatever he's doing here, I'm glad he drove off the guy with the gun. What are you so happy about? Yanagishi gives me a puzzled look. But he's promptly distracted by his own excitement. Well, anyway, never mind that, Tama. He shifts down to a conspiratorial whisper. You know, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I was in such a tizzy over a silly scratch card from a magazine. I can tell he has news he's itching to tell me. Did something happen? Well, he brings a hand to his mouth and giggles unsettling. I had a great little idea. A great way to strike it rich. I feel like I've heard this from you before. Mr. Yanagishi shakes his head fervently. This time it'll be different. We're talking way more digits than before. Now try not to get too surprised, huh? Spittle flies from his mouth as he rattles on. Or, it's okay to be surprised, actually. In fact, I'm guessing you're definitely going to be amazed this time, Tama. I can practically see the banknotes dancing in his eyes. Cut to the chase already. What did you tell me? It's the eggplant song. This time, get this, I got a line on 10 million yen. He thrusts his index finger skyward, grinning from ear to ear. Surprised now? Yeah, you are. And it doesn't require any capital. It's no risk, high return. In the world of equity investment, a wise investor weighs risks against the potential for return. Many heavily risky projects, however, yield very little in the way of actual returns. Such cases are called high risk, low returns. The inverse, low risk, high returns, is quite rare. The idea of no risk, high return is simply absurd. I know, I've made bank on Sportsbet before because they made some foolish odds. That was pretty no risk, high return for me. There's a crazy gleam in his eyes. Oh man, I'm finally gonna get to be part of the Billionaires Club. Quick math. That is so ridiculous, I don't even have a snappy retort for it. Never mind that 10 million obviously wouldn't make him a billionaire. By the way, you haven't seen Chiri, have you? We're gonna need her help to wrap this 10 million yen. Chiri? No, I haven't run into her since the sales demo. Oh, done. Well, if you do happen to see her, tell her to get in touch with me. Sure, alright. I still don't know what he's going on about, but there's probably no harm in being helpful. Thank you, Tama. Guess I may as well give you a little hint. A hint? Yeah, a hint. Want to hear it? Sure. Thank you. Well, then, I guess I got no choice. When you put it that way, I just have to tell you. Mr. Yanagishi clears his throat and proceeds to proclaim in an affected tone. When the match's stomach triumphs over the endless cavalcade of icebergs, the hero shall be blessed with fame and fortune! Huh? What the heck's that supposed to mean? He looks inordinately amused at my confusion. It's part of legend! You only need to remember the one verse for now. You're going to bear witness to history. I feel this guy's right out of some kind of story himself. Anyway, thanks for helping me with the cherry thing. Adios. Spanish for goodbye. The true meaning is close to the English farewell. In day-to-day interactions, most Spanish speakers use the word ciao. Adios can carry a connotation that you do not expect to see the addressee ever again. And then, like a whirlwind, Mr. Yanagishi zooms away, leaving me alone in the alley. Phew. Suddenly, I feel totally exhausted. I let out a sigh and drop my eyes, and that's when I noticed a notebook at the ground of my feet. Did the assassin drop this? I pick it up and look inside. There's a photograph tucked inside the back cover. It shows 3 young people, 2 boys and a girl. Isn't it French as well? Am I mad? Or stupid? This surely... Does this do anything? To be honest, I mean, like, you may as well say English people use it, because we do. I am... Hitomi? The man with the cane said I'm not her, but for some reason the name strikes me as really familiar. I don't know if this is clear, but Oya is French, by the way, Alex. Tama Hitomi? None of the above. None of those fit me at all. Thank you, Tim. I guess I may as well give you a little hint. A hint? Yeah, a hint. Wanna hear it? No, not particularly. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, thanks for helping me out with this cherry thing. Adios. And then, like a whirlwind, Mr. Yanagishita zooms away, leaving me alone in the alley. Phew. Suddenly I feel totally exhausted. I let out a sigh and drop my eyes, and that's when I noticed... Yep, okay. Where do I... Oh, I guess I can go to one of these jumps now. Surprised at the lack of jumps in this hour. Eventually, I muster up the courage to energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular. The billboard outside the department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular because lots of passers-by stop to take a good look, although I have looked at the Oricon charts and apparently she's only had one top 10 album and that was after this game came out. I catch sight of a little Hana in front of the billboard. Is that her? It could be. She's showing something to a woman there, some colourful sheets of paper. The woman looks a lot like the musician in the poster. Moreover, I have the feeling I've seen her someplace before. Where could I have seen her? Man, having amnesia is a real pain in the ass. I have no way of knowing whether I've forgotten something or had no memory of it in the first place. The woman looks through the papers Hana held out to her, nodding approvingly at each one, and I can hear a murmur of admiration. Well, I know I'm going to change Archie's timeline soon. Wait. Hana! I wave as I scamper over and over to her. As I do, the woman abruptly hurries off. Hey, we meet again, I say. Hana just gives me a bored look. Who was that, I ask, just now? I don't know. Hana quickly gathers up her belongings and starts walking briskly away. Oh hey, wait up, I call out. The girl ignores me. She's moving at a jog now, heading from Spanish Hill towards Kowandori. That's like the 3rd time she's fallen over. As she steps onto Kowandori, she trips and falls down hard. The contents of her bag spill out on the road. Oh, whoops. Catching up to her, I gather up some of the fallen pages. What's this? There are poems written on the coloured paper. Copies of a prose poem titled The False Monsoon. The poem delicately details the wavering emotions of an adolescent girl. In a clever twist, if the text is read horizontally instead of vertically, it tells about a father's worries over his only daughter who is now a marriageable age. Hannah's genius will soon be discovered by Kamiki, and she will go on to become a popular songwriter. A look of embarrassment crosses Hannah's face as she snatches the pages out of my hand. Don't touch those! Those are not for sale! Those are for sale! For sale? I'm selling poems that I wrote. Oh wow, that's incredible. She looks surprised by the compliment. Incredible? My friends at school said they were dumb. That's not true. I only saw a little just now, but I thought it was a really good poem. You're just saying that. I've been out here in Shibuya for weeks trying to sell these, but the only person who's bought them was that one lady right now. Hannah lets out a mournful sigh. Well, what are you out here selling poems for anyway? I thought maybe I'd help pay back our debts. Huh? Okay, that's not something I'd expect to hear from a little kid. My debt's in real deep, she's introduced. The topic makes me think of Yanagishi. Because Yanagishi and her dad are both being chased by the same debt collectors. Guess today's my day for meeting people mired in debt. And I'm only in elementary school, so I can't get a part-time job. Japan's Labour Standards Act prohibits the hiring of children under the age of 15. For certain jobs within the entertainment industry, however, employers can obtain permission from the Labour Standards Inspection Office for younger children to work. I'm impressed. She's so brave. She may be a little too hard to approach, but she's just a kid after all. She's so brave, I want to give her a hug. Ooh, Hannah! I hear a strange wailing call from behind me. Startled, I turn around to see Mr. Toyama standing there, tears streaming from his eyes. Hannah! I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were trying so hard to... Toyama rushes up to the girl. It's quite the emotional father-daughter reunion. Or at least that's how it looks until Hannah slaps her father across the face with a bundle of papers. What was that for? Don't you give me that. I'm sick of all this running around. She delivers several more well-placed smacks of her little craft project. Okay, Toyama says at last. I know you're upset, but I have to ask you one thing. Then, can we see about getting through the day, yeah? Okay, but just one. I can't help but find this ornery interaction kind of charming. You two get along really well, don't you? I say. Yep, no. The two give simultaneous contradictory replies. Then Hannah sullenly starts to walk off with Toyama tottering after her. It's such a weird little sight that I can't help but laugh. Well, later then. Well, it looks like she's okay. It does not look like she's okay. Oh, never mind. I thought she was in the car, but maybe that's a different timeline. Further along Kowandori, I come across a car on the roadside that's spectacularly aflame. A group of onlookers surround it in a confused uproar. It seems almost unreal, like I'm looking at a set for a TV show or something. I stand there, staring into the flames. Huh? What's that? I can see something... The raging heat makes the air shimmer. The scent of dry sand fills my nose. A gust of searing wind tugs at my hair. Where am I? Decaying roads, decaying houses, a decaying city. And the people who live there. People who live. People who live. People who live. People who live. There's someone by my side. Someone is with me, watching all of this. I've forgotten her name again. It's a girl. The person with me is a girl, slightly younger than me. She says something to me. Anna Esme. I can't remember if I've heard that before. It sounds familiar. Cat's Cradle, Silver Spoon, Little Boy, Blue, and the Man of the Moon. That's my voice now. Cat's Cradle? Whose voice is that? What's going on? Who am I talking to? Yeah, Cat's Cradle. I'm showing someone how to do a cat's cradle with string. But who? Who am I showing how to do a cat's cradle? And why am I just like you, Dad? Canaan. That's her name. The word Canaan echoes in my head. Canaan. Canaan? I uttered the name aloud. The image floating through my mind are beginning to break up and vanish. Is she gonna think that's her name? But I feel like for a brief moment at least, I caught hold of the edges of some lost memories. That's right, Canaan. As soon as I say it, I'm filled with a powerful sense of duty. There's something I'm responsible for, something I needed to do. And if I don't, this Canaan person is going to be in grave danger. Calm down, just calm down. I'm pleading myself, fighting the impulse to take off running. What does that girl to the right, like, is she just like looking at Maria? Or is she dozing off, or I don't know. If I did, where would I go? I have no idea what this destination or my goal is. Please, please remember something. Please, please. I gaze up in the flames, practically praying now. Don't move. A voice hisses in my ear. Is that the man with the cane? I can't remember what he looks like. And I feel something hard press against my back. I don't need to turn around to recognize whose voice it is. I thought you said you didn't have any business with... I did a little thinking, says the man with the cane slowly. About how I might lure out Hitomi Osawa, you see. I'm going to use you as bait. How ironic, considering that at the start, they were using Hitomi as bait for Maria.